Welcome to the Strength Hammer Podcast, episode 106.
Put those guns.
I still have the worst lighting.
It's so flat. It's like
It is.
somebody's just shining a
Well, I
flat
got
light at
all,
you.
all the light is in front of me or behind me. There is zero above me, so I'll fix it for the next show. I'll get one temporary light just to we get like a
Turn
pump
all
before.
the lights off, just light on top. I started going to a gym at the college. I just started teaching that, and they have the worst, darkest lighting, but it's all overhead. So
Yeah,
I look huge. I
yeah.
just
I've been seeing
humongous in
your
there.
pictures on Instagram, Mister. Can we call you Swole Fret? How do we mix Swole and
Swole,
Professor?
Professor Hammer. I don't
Professor
know.
Hammer. Professor Hammer.
Professor Hammer.
Professor Jack Hammer.
Professor
Because you're
Jack.
Jacked Hammer. There we go. Okay.
Jack Hammer.
Yeah. No, that's fun. I was wondering because I saw that. I'm like, that's not where we lift, and that's not your other gym. So I'm like, that has to be the school. Is it a good gym though? Like,
I was just talking to my friend earlier today. It's a good gym for what I do, but man, they have the worst hooks, like safety hooks for the barbell on their
oh,
squat rails.
oh,
It's huge. It's like, you know how you want usually just like a little bit of a
yeah.
hook so you can easily unrack it? It's like this much of a hook.
Oh, so you're like,
It's like
choke. Wait, let's hook
it's
this
to hook out
train.
with the barbell off.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Other than that, it's
I keep wondering, like, can I go back to my alma mater and get like workout in because they have an amazing gym because they were throwing money at the sports program right before I left. But also, I don't know what it's like. I'd like to, but also like I'm
do you
38.
still have a card? Do you still have a card like that
I do,
IG to
yeah, I
go?
do. And actually, my hair actually, it's funny because like you know, blessed because take care of myself. I haven't changed all that much. If I shave the
Hmm.
beard, I have almost the exact same hair length on the card because I had long hair in
That's
college too.
yeah. Just you should just try it one day because nobody asks questions. Like nobody ever in the gym asks me like, "Who are you?"
That's true. It's true. But also, it's just like, I mean, what am I gonna do? Go there and just squat? I
Yeah,
guess.
why not? Man, I
Um,
have to tell you, I have a couple students in the class because it's sports nutrition, right? So a lot of them
you're
are
gonna have
interested.
sports focused athletes, yeah.
I had two guys who just talked about lifting, and one guy squats 600 pounds, and the other guy benches 400 pounds.
Damn. Are they? Are
Like
they? Okay, now here's the question: are they like really big guys, or are they like
they're
like
big,
like
they're
our
bigger.
build and they're just ridiculously strong?
No, no, no.
They're
They're
big
they're
guys.
bigger
Okay,
guys. They are. You can tell they can squat and bench that
that's
much.
awesome.
It
Okay,
was impressive. I was just like, holy crap, dudes, that's so cool.
that's fun. He's like, let's go lifting, guys.
Let's go
Today's class lifting.
lift. Show me your technique. Um,
If it's wrong, you lose points.
right, right.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Good stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm glad that new gig's going well. You seem to be enjoying it.
Oh yeah.
I if just so you know that if you start running out of time to do these, I'm just going to go into that class and just record you with a camera, and I'll be like, "Hey, Alex, welcome, Professor Alex, welcome to the Strength Hammer Podcast, episode I don't know 180," and you'll just look at me, and then you'll keep teaching, and that'll be the intro every time.
I'm right with that. I'm
Yeah,
right with
that's
that.
fine. That's
That
fine.
sounds good.
Well,
Not sure how you're gonna get on college campus, but other than that, you'll be fine.
if I no, I'll actually sign up for your class.
Oh, okay. That'll be
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Especially, I'll actually start trying and be like, I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass this class.
Uh, uh,
Oh. Well, anyway, your new little mini hustle's going well. I don't know, but should we call? I don't know. Like, I don't want to call it a side hustle for you because like with everything you have going on in life, like you're just hustling. You know what I mean? Like I don't think you have a side hustle. Like you throw your all into everything except for this podcast and our friendship. Sorry, I had to. That's so easy.
All right. So the backstory here is one of the days, one of the podcasts, I could not make it, and I should have been much nicer and much better in wording of my commitment to make it to this podcast. Instead, I was like, "Hey, I can't make it. Deal with it."
It's
So it was my fault, and you
to
have all the right to make fun of it from
I
me.
just that one. To be fair, also I've been dealing with like internal stress, like learning how to manage stress of my new job. So like that was probably getting out more than it was unintentionally so.
Sure,
But
sure.
I
But
also
I
want
mean,
you to be better than I was at your age, so there's a lot of
sure.
that too.
But
Um,
to be fair, like this is a very enjoyable time for me,
it is.
right? 'Cause
I get to talk to you.
this is not work. This is just fun talking to a friend about Warhammer and fitness stuff,
Yeah,
right?
and welcome to all the new followers. I appreciate the that. Like we're pushing towards 1,000. We'll get there when we get there. But hey, I'm having fun along the way.
Very good.
It's good. Okay, actually, let's get back onto the focus. How's your lawn?
Man, I just cut the lawn yesterday,
Oh, I'm
and
jealous.
that was a PR because I started cutting at like I think 7:30. So it was, and my lawn takes a while. It
Yeah.
takes like
You're probably like a good hour, an hour 10.
yeah, almost an hour and a half pushing it. And yesterday, by the time I was finished, it was almost dark. Yeah, it was. I was almost cutting in the dark, which I feel bad for the neighbors a little bit. It wasn't that late, but I didn't
It's
want
not.
time.
Yeah.
Right.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine. Um, no, that's nice. That's nice.
Go on.
Yeah, that's good. That's good lawn talk. Good lawn talk. My lawn is needing cut. Probably next day or so. Um, last week my wife was sick, so didn't cut it at
Mhm.
all, really. And then it's I thought it was supposed to be hot and dry this week, and it's been kind of off and on raining. So we'll see. I'll get it cut here in the next day or so.
Yeah. It sounds like excuses. The priorities should be straight. It's lawn first, then wife, then your job, then Warhammer.
The only question I'd be like lawn and wife might flip flop, but the rest of that order is spot
All
on.
right, that's okay. Very good.
I don't,
Occasionally lawn and wife flip flop.
yeah. Um,
Uh,
that's good. That's good. But the garden's looking good. I'm getting like out of
good.
nowhere. I'm looking over and because like I'm like, oh man, there's really like nothing growing out of nowhere. I'm just like, boom, there's cucumber, there's some pumpkins, there's some
Yeah.
tomatoes. I'm like, it's just popping off right now, so I gotta kind of keep up with that
Well,
too.
let's go. Well done.
Well done. Oh, I forgot it. I forgot. I was like, what is it? What is it?
Well done, Martin.
Well done, Garden. You're doing good. Okay, well, with that out of the way, Alex, this is the Dwarf Arcane Journal episode, and I'm committing to that before I've recorded the actual part of that, which should be later on
Mm,
tonight. So if Mike and Matt flake out on me, it'll be me talking about dwarves because I've committed to it now.
very
I don't
good.
think they will. Um, so with that in mind, you had a good topic for the day.
Hmm.
So what will be our fitness topic for the day?
Yes, yes. So, what are dwarves known for? They are stout, they are strong and muscular, but are dwarves usually, especially fantasy dwarves, are they usually depicted as ultra lean?
Oh no,
Not really. No,
no no no
they're
no.
actually stout. They're stocky. They're power lifters, right? They're definitely power lifters. They
Yeah,
have the body of a power lifter.
they're like the old school body, like power lifters. Like just get as big and strong as you can, because I gotta move that mine cart.
That's right. That's right. So we're going to talk about how to bulk properly. What are some principles of a good bulk,
Mm-hmm.
and what are some things that you probably should avoid if you're trying to do it in a mostly healthy way?
Right, because you've done a lean bulk.
Mm-hmm.
You're in one right now.
Minimum bulk. Oh
My
yeah,
first bulk was more of a dirty bulk. So,
sure.
but then after that, it's like been cleaner when I've done it. But yeah, that's gonna be fun. And then we'll also maybe at the end we'll rank our top three beers. I don't know. It's dwarves.
Sure.
Like just for fun. I don't. Um,
Sure. We can
so
talk about
your
that.
top three beers for a treat while you're on a bulk.
Sure. There we go. There we go. I have the top two, but I don't know if I have the third one
Yeah, we'll have to figure it out, but we'll make
right.
it up.
All right, very good. So the first thing, obviously, is nutrition,
Hmm.
right? Bulk, for those of you who don't know or familiar with the term, you're trying to put on mass, without really trying to lean out or lose. Like nobody's really looking to lose weight or even lose fat on a bulk, for that matter. Regardless of where your weight is right now, the goal of a bulk is always to put on as much muscle as possible. And for most people, to not put on any fat, much fat, if any.
Right, but what's one of the things that happens on a bulk? What are you are going to put on fat? It's just
Most
the
likely, for
bigger you
most
are, it's
people,
just gonna happen.
yes, yes, most likely. And there's certainly individual variances, but typically, bulk is putting on as much muscle as possible, with varying degrees of fat,
Hmm.
depending how you do it, and then cut is the opposite, right?
Yep,
Um,
perfect.
so nutrition, we got to eat more.
Yeah, And that's eat more as in eat more based upon your uh, maintenance level of caloric intake. So
Yes.
we're assuming you know what that is.
Yes.
25,000, 26,000, whatever you're at. So obviously, if you're going on a bulk or cut, I think both you and I do recommend like that's the time you want to track your calories. Like
If you
hard,
can.
yeah.
You
It's like I don't track my calories regularly because I have
can.
what I know I need to maintain, like how to handle that. But like if I
Hmm.
was going to cut, I can't. Like I'm like I'll be hungry, but like is that am I actually hungry or am I hungry because like what's the thing of that? And
Sure.
then with bulk, make sure I don't eat way too much and make sure I eat enough.
Sure.
So if say someone was sorry, phlegm. Say someone was doing a maintenance of 2,500 calories right now,
Mhm.
intermediate lifter. They want to go on a bulk. What would you say would be a good place to start that bulk? How much more calories should they consume?
Yes. Yes. So if you are in a perfect world, you're tracking calories, right? And we can talk about what to do if you're not.
Mm-hmm.
In a perfect world, you're tracking calories every day. If your maintenance is around 2,500 calories, I recommend for a lean bulk where you're putting on primarily muscle and not much fat, is initially increasing your calories by about 2 to 300. It's really not a lot because keep in mind, you're not going to put even most likely, unless you're a total beginner, you're not even going to put half a pound of muscle a week,
Mm-hmm.
right? So if you're looking for a pound of muscle, pound, maybe a pound and a quarter per month, that's great, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, 12 pounds of muscle a year gain once you are intermediate
A
is
lot, yeah.
very good, right? So realistically, we're not even once you're intermediate. I mean, even a pound a month is phenomenal. So you don't need that much more calories, right? So what I recommend as far as the protocol goes is increase your calories by about 2 to 300 calories. And then so once you notice, you want to weigh yourself, right? You obviously want to check your strength goals and performance. And once you notice stagnation in weight gain and muscle mass gain, at that point you can go ahead and increase your calories again a little bit. Now I recommend increasing it in increments of 100.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So let's say 2,500 calorie person goes to 2,800 calories. They consistently gain muscle mass and a little bit of weight here. And now they notice that their progress is falling just a little bit and they're not gaining as much weight as they used to because they're built more muscle, metabolism is adapted. Increase your calories by another 100 and increase your calories by another 100 and do so until you get to a comfortable point where maybe 6 months later you are at 3,600 calories, you're feeling good, you're looking good, you build a lot of mass, and you're ready to maintain that or to cut down
Yeah.
or to keep going.
Yeah, and that's the fun thing too. Like you said, some key parts. Like it, just because you increase from what your maintenance is, you will put on that mass, but your maintenance is also changing along the way because, like you said, your metabolism adjusts, and more importantly, you're getting stronger and gaining more muscle. Plus, you're also
Mhm.
having more energy, so your body, especially as an intermediate lifter, um, uh, you also start to want to use that energy. So
Mhm.
you're putting the calorie in, but you're probably putting more out eventually as you get used to it.
Sure.
So, yeah,
Sure.
it's and because like there's people out there that just want to put on mass because I think we'll be qualified as like a hard gainer. Like it's harder for them to put on mass. So, they might be bulking to put on to get to a more healthy or comfortable weight for them, as opposed to just focused on building up so then they could then cut.
Sure. Yeah. And somebody who is a hard gainer, typically when you think about that person, they'll already have a pretty low body fat percentage. So in that case, we're not trying to do a lean bulk, right? In that case, we might do a regular bulk or even a dirty bulk because they could stand, like, let's say if they're trying to gain 20 pounds, they could stand for that to be 10 pounds muscle, 10 pounds fat.
Yeah.
Because if they're at like 5% body fat naturally because they're just so lean and lanky, right?
Right.
So in that case, we're trying to eat. I know I've had clients who wear to eat 1,000 calories over maintenance,
Cool. Yeah.
right? For them to put on any weight, and they would put on a good bit of weight, and they would do really well. But that is very challenging. That is very challenging for people to do, and we have to incorporate shakes and powders and all sorts of things usually
Yep.
to do so.
Now,
Yeah,
real quick, sorry, I'm not sure what got the phlegm in my throat this morning. With
you're still dwarf. You're very
oh
grunting.
yeah,
To
get the dwarf voice in. With the bulking going, essentially, would you adjust your workout routine at all along the way?
At a minimum,
Like, would you go
so you
heavier
don't.
during this time period?
Well, you okay. So at a minimum, I recommend switching whatever you were doing before,
Hmm.
um, because anytime you switch a program, you get a new signal to adapt to, right? And if the newer, the fresher the signal, the more muscle you're going to build, right? So I would not do the same program you've been doing for the last 2 months, right? Because that signal is no longer fresh. Because ideally, like I said, for most people, we're talking they want to put on lean muscle mass, not gain a lot of fat. Most people, and starting a new program is always a good idea. And then if you're in a bulk for longer than 2 months, I just generally recommend switching up your programming,
Just like
especially if you go,
so,
yeah, every
just keep
every eight
adapting
weeks.
your programming as you normally would. Then, essentially,
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think depending on your goals with the bulk, if you're trying to put on primarily muscle mass, always higher volume is a good idea. And if you're trying to purely focus more on low rep strength, then do that. Or you can do power building, right, where you do
yeah,
bodybuilding style and powerlifting. It doesn't really. That's much more on your goals. Is your goals more mass or strength? But at a minimum, I recommend switching up your programming somehow.
yeah. No, it's definitely true. Like I kind of like, especially when I'm going through that bulking sort of mindset. Like I like to do more of a bodybuilding as opposed to
Okay.
just the normal strength that I like to do. But like you said, once I get through that program, I'm probably gonna go back to the strength and see massive improvement just because I did bodybuilding, put on that muscle through that, switched up the
Yep.
stimulus, and now I'm back to an old stimulus. Muscle memory kicks in, but it's stronger, and we.
And that's exactly what I like doing as well. Is when I stay in a bulk for 3 4 months, I like to switch up between bodybuilding or more powerlifting
Yeah,
style, because bodybuilding you have so much more energy going in. Your body wants to build a lot of muscle mass, right? So it feels good to put on mass and look muscular,
yeah,
but also it feels really good to lift very heavy weights because all of a sudden you have so much more energy to recover,
yep,
right? So yeah,
yep.
it's both of those things are very much
Yep,
appropriate.
figure out what your mind goblins and mind demons like most, and do that too. That's
Exactly,
sometimes
exactly.
because there is the one thing with a bulk is two things that get to be frustrating on a bulk. One, eating. I like
I'm
especially
in that point now.
yeah,
Yep.
it's like you get. I mean, watch all the strongmen when they're off season. Like they're always bulking all that. Like now they eat so much more, but like me as a normal person, whenever I was in a bulk, and I think I was up to like probably like 3,200 calories when I was doing my bulk. I was
Hmm.
just tired of chewing.
Yeah,
Like I could mentally eat because I knew what I was doing. Like I could get around that. Like I'm not hungry, but I could eat. Like sure, I could
sure.
do that, but just chewing and eating like the same stuff over and over again actually starts to get like a little bit monotonous.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then the other thing is too is you're going to probably feel fat on some
Oh, yeah,
level, even if you're doing more of a lean bulk, like because like you're
yeah,
growing, so your clothes will be a little bit tighter, and like naturally your brain goes, oh, I feel fat.
yeah. And that's also partially just because number one, you're always going to have food in your system,
Hmm.
right? So you're always going to have food you're digesting. So it's food in your small intestine, large intestine. You're always going to be holding the max amount of fluid you could, right? Because your
Yeah,
glycogen stores are always full, so you're always going to be holding an extra fluid. And you're probably eating more food, so you're probably eating more salt and carbs, which is also going to store more fluid in your tissues. And you're probably going to be eating more food, so you're going to be more bloated overall,
yep,
right? And that's partially why I recommend keeping it mostly healthy food,
yes,
uh, even though it's tempting to eat more junk food because you have more calories. You will probably feel like crap. So that's why, and that's what you, to your point with chewing, right? Like, oh, if you had a 1,200 calorie milkshake, it wouldn't be a problem, but you would feel like garbage.
right,
So if you
yeah,
eat healthy, a lot of chewing,
yeah, and like it's like I said, and then getting capable of eating more, even though like to eat when you're not hungry, it is easy to eat sugar for that. Um, but you feel like I said, you feel better mentally and physically if you're eating like chicken breast with some seasoning and some broccoli and stuff like that. Now, what I will say, I picked it up from Antoine Vallier, he's a Canadian bodybuilder. Um, Whenever I got tired of eating, I would keep some candy on me.
yeah, sure,
Not for I'd probably have like let's say a bag of M&Ms with me, and I maybe eat half of it a
sure,
day. But I
sure.
wouldn't eat it all at once. What I would
Mm,
do is like, okay, I need to put in this chicken breast and broccoli in me
That's
in about 20 minutes. So like 10 minutes before, I'd pop some M&Ms because then the sugar hits, you get cravings. It's like because sugar makes you hungry and craving. That's why like yeah.
sure. I've never thought about that before,
So
but yeah,
I would just take a couple of M&Ms and it would trigger that response and it'd be like, oh, I want more, but like then my body's like, oh well, you're giving me this food instead of more M&Ms. I'm like, yeah, I just want you to pretend like you're hungry. So
that's interesting. But yeah, always recommend. I mean, the simplest thing is just to eat more fat as well. More fat and simple carbs.
yeah,
Doesn't have to be unhealthy, right? So more olive oil, you can butter, cheeses, buying more whole fat dairy, buying fattier cuts of meat, eating more white rice, eating more oatmeal, eating more bread, eating more pasta.
yeah.
Just some simple things that
As
are
long
not
yeah,
particularly
as long as
healthy.
you're not like gluten sensitive, like yeah,
Right, sure, sure, sure.
yeah,
Yeah, that, yeah.
yeah. Like if you're lactose, don't do any go mad.
Oh yes, if you're sensitive to glucose, lactose, and gluten, don't do anything I said. That
Yeah,
is,
yeah. It's if you are with that, talk to someone like Alex who is a sports nutritionist who can actually help you find the right foods to put in to get where you need to go. So, thankfully, my body's adapted and can just do it all. So I'm like, wee, I can make my
yeah.
mistakes. Yeah. So,
uh,
real quick, so uh, that's a great way to do it. Let me tell you how I did it the first time not to do it, and it
that's
was
good.
dirty bulk.
Mm,
And pretty much what that meant is just kind of like I had a protein goal,
okay.
and like that was the focus. Always hit the protein goal, which I forget I don't even know what it was anymore. But like I said, and then whatever else after that, I let it be whatever food I want.
Hmm.
So it would be some it would be like, okay, I'll have two pieces of cake instead of one at this birthday party type stuff. Or I would allow myself to have like an ice cream like every day as part of it. And then like sometimes I'm just like, oh, you know what, I just want extra rice now. Like so I'll just take extra rice and all that, or like more, even eating like microwave meals more
Hmm.
commonly because I'm just like, I want something quick and easy and I need to get this much calories in its calories, even though like they're chock loaded with sodium. Um, so it was hitting a protein goal still, but like literally everything else could be whatever it was. It wasn't it was still wasn't breaking it down to like I should have this many carbs, this many fats. It was just more of like calories, 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 and gym. Um, and I like I said, it does work, but
Get
like
stronger.
yeah, I got really strong. I felt like I could pick up the world. Um, Downside, because like you by doing that, I put on a lot of weight
Yep.
fairly quickly. I went from like 190, and then by the end of like 5-ish months, I think, maybe 4-ish, like I was 225.
Ooh,
Yeah,
that's a dirty bulk right
it was
there.
a dirty bulk. But like I said, but like that, I still felt good because like I was strong and I was working out. If
Good.
I did that without, I'd feel miserable because I couldn't pick myself up. But yeah, like numbers were shooting through the roof on PRs left and right at that time. But then it's like, okay, time to start cutting. So I started cutting down, and like that's where the dirty bulk bites you in the butt because the
Yeah.
cut took twice as long.
Yeah.
Because like I was 225, and then I got back down to, like when I lost that weight, I was probably sitting around 205.
Mhm.
Now, like I said, now I'm like 210, 215. I could probably lean out harder if I wanted to, but like I said, that's another story. But like I sit comfortably right now between 210 and 215. But like after that bulk, I was 205. So I dropped 20 pounds of useless crap. But I kept the strength. So does it work? Yes. I still wouldn't recommend it just because like it's fun when you're doing it. But
Yeah. So yes.
yeah, like if
Yeah.
I wasn't putting in the work up front, so I had to put more work in the back end. And to be
Yeah.
fair, cuts are miserable.
Oh no, nobody really enjoys cuts. Nobody really enjoys cuts. But I mean, to your point, like something like this for strongmen is great,
Yeah, yeah,
right? So if you're doing strongman, even if you're doing powerlifting, that's fine. Your goal is purely strength, and you don't care about aesthetics. And I mean, I was telling you earlier about the guys who lifted benched 400 and squatted 600. Like
hmm
having more mass and having more leverage is probably a good idea in those things because
yeah,
you can handle more mass. You're not as easily shifted, right? And also, when you put on so much weight and you're training consistently and you're recovering well and all of those things, that means you're putting on the absolute max muscle that you can put on,
yeah.
right? Because when you're trying to play that game of like, well, I want to put on the least amount of fat, sometimes you can miss out on some muscle gains,
Right.
right? With that, you don't miss out on any muscle gain, but you gain a lot of fat.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, I would take it with a grain of salt. I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah,
Plus, also too, like whenever it's like at my biggest, like I could still move and felt comfortable, but like I was snoring more.
sure,
You know, because
sure,
like you have more weight on you. That's just natural. So
sure.
like that was not fun for my wife for like the last month of that bulk. Um, and two, like just being hotter because I just have so much more
Yeah,
mass on me. Like I'm just
yeah.
sweating. Like it's like, oh, I don't like this. But like I said, you know, but essentially too, like I was doing it. I bulked to pass my comfort level for like
Hmm.
a couple weeks essentially, and then I started going back down because like then you find your new comfort level. Because but
You put on muscle. I mean,
yeah, oh,
that's
yeah,
good that
yeah,
you have to 190 because you actually have put on muscle since then, right?
right, yeah, yeah, from 190 to 205. Like I'm like, okay, that felt great, but yeah, but after that I'm like, I'm not dirty bulking again.
Yeah, yeah. It's a cool experience, and I think I've tried it in the past. I just didn't love it.
And
But yeah,
to be
cool
perfectly fair
experience.
too, yeah, like Alex, your age, like if I dirty bulk right now, I'm just getting fat and staying fat because
Right,
I'm old now. I'm 30. You know,
right.
you're young. Like if you're younger in metabolism, you can get away with it. Like that's why you see the young kids doing the go mad and all that fun stuff.
Right. Right
But yeah,
on.
oh yeah, if you're doing dirty bulk, your cheat days are
Oh my goodness,
astronomical.
it's wild. Yeah, it's. I mean, dirty bulk is exactly what you said. Just get to your protein goal and then eat literally as many calories as you can
Right.
possibly eat.
Exactly. Okay. Perfect. So now we know how to be a dwarf.
Yes. Well, one more thing I would
Oh yeah, yeah.
mention is, dwarves, what do? They live in mountain holes. They work hard. They eat lots, but it's dark there, so they also sleep lots. And when you are bulking, your capacity for work is very high. So
Mm-hmm.
you should be pushing your body. Like when you're cutting, you probably should scale down your programming a little bit. When you're bulking, you have all the energy going into you. You better be pushing your body close to failure.
Yep.
So you need to recover hard as well. So if you're bulking, trying to put on muscle mass and not put on a whole lot of fat, you better be getting those 8 hours of sleep.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's very true. It's very true.
You always should be getting 8 hours of sleep, but especially if you're bulking, trying to do so in a lean way, get your sleep.
Oh, it's yeah, yeah. You'll just yeah, because like you need those muscles to repair. Otherwise, you're just getting fat for no reason.
That's exactly it.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
there's always that one dwarf in a dwarf hold who like always finds his way out of work and is just at the bar the whole time, and he's just a hot mess. No one
Yeah,
likes him.
don't be that guy. Don't be that
Don't be that dwarf.
guy.
All right. Well, with that done, actually, let's. You want to do our top three beers real quick, just off the cuff? If you
Yes.
were a dwarf and could drink any beer that exists in our world, what would your three
Okay.
beers be?
Yingling,
Mhm.
Guinness. Man, give me your three before I think about the last one.
Okay. My Yingling is also there in my top three. My second is my favorite because right now we're in that season. So pumpkin beer, specifically Southern Tier Pumpkin, is my favorite.
Yes. Yes.
And then the third would be it's the Dunkel beer from Hofbrauhaus.
Mm,
Just because like it's dark, but it's not like super heavy like it like. And
that's good.
I could like it's very like it's perfect autumn drink, but like you know you yeah, and you could keep drinking it essentially. Like if I was a dwarf, that'd be
Very
doing. I'd be like just drink that all day.
Very good. Very good. I think my last one would be a strongbow cider.
Ooh, okay, okay. I didn't
I'm
know
really a
you.
beer, but I do like a good cider. So strongbow cider, Yingling, and a Guinness.
Okay, in the comments below, let me know if Alex is a true dwarf since he didn't choose a beer, he chose a cider. I bet if
Oh,
you're from the UK, you probably are with him, and if you're not, you're against him.
well, I am not a true dwarf. I
That's
don't
okay.
know have a dwarf physique, so I can't even grow a beard, man. Come on.
That's true. Fair, fair. Okay, well, hey, with that wrapped up, let's do a little bit of hobby chat then. And before we do that, there'll be a full video. Probably came out the day before this video goes live. Worst case will come right after, but where I walk through all the reveals from Nova Open. Alex, did
Mm.
you see the road maps from Nova Open?
I'm not yet. No.
Okay,
Honestly, part of my hobby is this week has been so busy that
gotcha.
my hobby is mostly non-existent. I have one thing to share, but that's about it.
Okay, well,
Um,
yeah, yeah. Okay, pass the Nova reveals. Go watch my video. where I go through all of it, and all that fun stuff. But Alex, what has been your hobby this week,
Yes,
or
yes.
like last week, last couple weeks, even
Yeah,
whatever it is?
last week. So the big thing that was a fun thing for me was I got to get back into a Zombicide game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That is, as some of you may know, my favorite game after Warhammer is Zombicide Black Plague. And about a year and a half ago, we wrapped up our campaign with a bunch of our friend group for the Zombicide Black Plague that we played for like over ten games. And now we're getting back into it. So I'm very excited for it.
That's awesome. That's
And I'm
awesome.
painting minis for it.
Yes, you are getting that hobby going. Slay
Yes,
the
sir.
gray. Get rid of your
Yes,
pile
sir.
of shame. Become a proper, upstanding Warhammer citizen.
Yeah, it's it's like a Hydra. You complete one project and two more appear.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Alex. If you don't paint your stuff, I'm just gonna start calling you a Warhammer tourist. Is that the insult?
Wow, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, man. I've been a Warhammer nerd for
Oh yeah, since
well over half of my life.
since I known you. Yeah, since I known you,
Oh, yeah,
which technically I think would be longer than me, because my first game was one of my first games was against you, but I don't think that was your first game. That was your first
yeah.
game in the States, I think, maybe.
I started 3 years before our first game,
Yeah,
11. So I've been in the hobby for 16 years total.
yeah. I'm probably like 13, maybe 14. It was around the MMO's release, so well, whatever. Who cares? Um, um, but okay, I guess real quick, I'll talk my hobby here since we're gonna go right to the Arcane Journal after this
Yeah.
cut. Um, so I painted up. I got the my made to order Tomb Kings and Bretonians in.
Yes.
So I painted up the Tomb King that I forgot I ordered. Just a quick little
Hmm.
paint job, nothing special. Put them in the box with the rest of the Tomb Kings. Then I started working on my Bretonians again for the Tale of Four Warlords. I finished my commitment for next month already.
Very good.
So Pegasus Knights, so that's out, and which is funny because we haven't even recorded for this month. That's but yeah. So I finished up a unit of Peg Knights, all six of them. I'm currently working on the Knights of the Realm on foot. And like yeah, I have 23 models left, I think, in this whole army. It feels really good. Um, and like to be fair, these last ones are pretty easy because the horses are fully covered in like their cloth, so like it's just like make it all blue and then do my stuff. So hopefully it goes quick.
That's
And then outside of that, GW sent me a lot of stuff.
yes, yes. That's a big event there for you, and
It was a nightmare
you
yesterday.
helping you.
Yeah. So if you're new to the channel or anything like that, I work for Games Workshop on the U.S. Open series. So like, I help run ageofsigmar events or just help to run the shows and all that stuff. It's a part-time jobs, but I also, when I can, like obviously weekends after my real job time, help with building terrain for the events and those push to fit Marines and Stormcasts, along with a crew that's with me over here that also help do it. So, but yesterday I received 32 boxes of Warhammer crap, and
Ridiculous.
I love my bosses for it. And I love the guy who sent it to me, Zach Rockner. He's just a legend, and he's one of the guys making the U.S. Open stuff just so great. He deserves all the credit in the world. But I was like, please don't ever send me 32 boxes at the same time again. I literally it was awful. Like my Amazon box showed up, which was just some stuff for like my Game Boy modding. I'm like, okay,
Okay.
cool. Take that upstairs. I'm gonna get a shower. It was like midday around lunch break. I'm like, I'll take my shower now, no problem. I'm all showered fresh. Come down, I hear someone at the front. I'm like, oh, it's probably the UPS, and I expected like 7, maybe 10 boxes. I'm expecting a decent amount.
Yeah.
And I looked at my front porch, and on the front side, it was like getting full, and like he had more in the truck. I'm like, hi. He's like, I got 32 for you. I'm like, okay. So then between helping him get that off the truck into the house and then taking it down my stairs, which you've seen my stairs to my basement, it was
It's
like
not very comfortable.
no, it's like one box at a time with like these they were
Yeah.
big boxes. I became a hot, sweaty mess again, and I was just like,
That was a full cardio session for you.
it was. I counted it because like yeah, it was probably an hour worth of lifting, 10 to 15 pound boxes up and down a flight of stairs,
Yeah.
at least 30 times. So it counts.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
for sure. 100%.
What? Oh, you can't share what all is it, right?
Well, actually, like I said, most of it is paint and takes.
Okay.
Just because like you can't ever have enough of those because like and that's helping people get their first model in the hobby.
Sure.
They're
Sure.
built, they're
Yeah.
primed by us, and they can paint them at events like Gen Con and stuff like that.
Sure.
The other half is just more terrain for a little bit for Sigmar, and a lot for 40K, which will be for the grand narrative, which I haven't even been told what my full prompt is yet for it to work with the team. So,
Very
which is
cool.
annoying because like a quarter of my basement's full of boxes, or not a quarter, but like a lot of my basement's full of boxes. Especially it's right near my workout equipment too, because like that's the open space. I'm like, yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway,
That'd be cool.
yeah. So that'll be fun. Oh, and then I organized my other half of the basement. Yeah, because I want to get stuff more organized over here. But anyway,
Looks great. Yeah.
yeah, thank you. You'll see it eventually.
Yeah, I'm sure I will.
But yeah, no. With that, then yeah, we'll cut over to talk about the Dwarf Arcane Journal. Alex, I hope you have a
Very
great week. And
You as well.
cheers to everybody out there. See you on the other side. All right. Well, gentlemen, the council has begun. I've pressed pressed the record button. What was it? Oh, what's the Ted Lasso thing? No. Devil dogs?
Believe.
No, it's a dog. Never mind. I was gonna do a different joke. Anyway.
Dwarven dogs.
Yeah. Dwarven dogs, assemble.
So, before we get into anything, I would like to once again say that Cole was wrong because Chaos Dwarfs for Blood Bowl are coming out.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
They are beautiful. Like, they are beautiful models. I'm in a Blood Bowl league, and like there's 2 Chaos teams last 2 years, and everybody has them printed out. And now they're like, I'm about to just throw my prints out and
buy the
this kit.
GW ones. Yeah, the GW does.
Yeah, because it's beautiful.
Those are some nice dwarfs, and I'm expecting we'll see them switched over here into Old World because I like that they and I did the reveal reaction show earlier today actually, but I like that they're not overtly football. Like some of them like the Wood Elf stuff and some of the Dark Elf stuff was like overtly football, and it's like it's kind of hard to kit bash, but they're just Chaos Dwarfs. I could see the football influence, but like they're gonna be all through our games.
I mean, what about those bull centaurs, right?
Heck yeah.
Right.
The resin ones. Oh my god.
Heck yeah. But today we're not here to talk about the traitorous cousins of the Dwarven Mountain Holds, because this council is still loyal to Grugny, Grimner, Valia. All right, Mike, you get to be Valia today. Sorry.
No.
Okay, I'm kidding. So we're talking Dwarven Mountain Holds, blurry. Yeah, you're Grimnir. There's no I'm Grugny. I guess Matt's Valia. Actually, technically that is how it would actually work out. Yeah, so today we're going to do our review of the Dwarven Mountain Holds Arcane and the Arcane Journal since it's out. In our Strength Hammer fashion, Mike joined me for the Bretonian ones. Will be similar to that vein if you watch that episode, which is just us talking and having a good time. But the reason there's 3 of us is because the 3 of us here are the dwarf players, fantasy dwarf players, as far as like the love of that army. And we all actually love a different aspect of the army, so it's perfect to have us here together. So Matt, Valia, you represent the true standard ancestral traditions of the dwarfs. Rock and stone,
Awesome.
right?
Definitely.
Yes, and Mike over there, Slayers. If it's a Slayer, that's all what you're about. You were going to start a Slayer army before the old world died.
Yes.
And then they came out with Fire Slayers, and you're like, okay.
Right. My first ever AOS army are Fire Slayers. Absolutely.
Yep. And then after I think you said you're going to start dwarfs after Bretonia and maybe a few side projects just to mix it up.
Yeah. First and foremost, finish up my Tale of Four Warlords, Bretonian army, and then I don't know, man. Like Avatars of War, Slayer dwarves, their sculpts are just amazing. So I think I'm gonna mix and match GW with maybe some 3D prints with those guys. Like it's gonna be a mix and match. But yes, I am going dwarves after that. But in intermediate between the two, I'm gonna build a Mordheim war band. So
yes.
to hopefully come out there and play you guys. So
that'd be fun. Those tables are sitting pretty, and there's also plenty of other Mordheim warbands. If Matt, like you want to come out and you don't have one ready, it's no problem.
Yeah.
Yes, and then myself, I represent the Engineers Guild because that's just the part I loved whenever Warhammer Age of Reckoning came out. I saw the engineer class and I was like, if I'm playing I was playing a high elf mostly, a sword master, but I'm like, my alt's gonna be a dwarf and it's gonna be an engineer.
Age of Reckoning was such a good game that died too soon.
It did.
It was one of my favorite MMOs of all time. I know a lot of people might disagree with me.
Well, fuck them. Because they're wrong.
Yeah, I know, right? Like just the concept of being able to take the realms in each tier, right? You have I think there's 3 or 4 tiers. Just that and being able to take over a fort and then move on, and it was innovative at the time.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, Dark Age Camelot was a game that company made before it, Mythic Entertainment, and I love that game so much. And we could do a podcast, I think, Mike, you and I on Dark Age. It was but like a Warhammer IP mixed in with that was just phenomenal.
Oh man!
So you
imagine if, just as a quick side for that, could you imagine if GW would have said yes whenever Blizzard
back in the day? Yeah,
came to them,
dude. It'd be such a different world right now. Such a different.
It would be World of Warhammer. That's what it would have been. I mean,
it might have.
It's crazy how that happened.
It would have probably not killed, but it would have put 40K well into the side because if it had because WoW was so popular.
Absolutely.
We all played it.
But remember in Age of Reckoning, they came out the Chappas and the Slayers.
Yeah,
that was like one of the expansions. The Slayer, I immediately I had a leveled out Black Orc, and I was like, well, I'm done with that, so I'm gonna go ahead and move over to DPS and kill some stuff. But anyways,
sorry. One quick anecdote about Age of Reckoning, because if you're out there, I just want to let you know that you always made me laugh, and then you crushed me on the. I can't remember what server I was on, but we'd be raiding, and there was a Chaos Warrior, and his armor was black and yellow. And he was running around, and you ran for your life when he was around, because he's one of the ones would lead a train of folks. But his name was School Bus, and it was just fucking hilarious because you'd see in the chat, "Run, school bus is coming," and you would just get run over by a school bus. So if you're out there, School Bus, kudos to you. Drop a comment below, like and subscribe. Yes, but we are your council of dwarves. We all represent different interests in dwarves here. Yeah, let's just get into it. So first we're going to look, obviously, in our Forces of Fantasy book, which is blurry. And then before we take a look at the special rules real quick, just to give some context, I'm sure I might be the only one here, which makes me the most proper of the dwarf, which gives a point towards the Engineers Guild. I'm going to have a sip of my nice cold beer.
Oktoberfest is tomorrow in Cleveland.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm saving myself. I'm saving myself for tomorrow.
I got you.
It's a yearly thing for us, so
This is a water bottle of vodka.
Oh,
there you go.
There you go. Okay. All right. Well, we all have our excuses. All right. So anyway, Dwarven Mountain Holds. Just to run through it real quick, we have Death Blow. Model the special rules reduced to 0 wounds. You can make a single attack, Strength 3 hit, AP 1. Yep. Right. Or no, they suffer an attack immediately. Sorry. Dwarf Crafted models the special rule. Do not suffer a usual -1 to hit when stand and shoot.
Best rule in the entire army.
There you go. Matt, do you want to do the Grommel rules?
Sure. For Grommel, unit with this special rule may re-roll any natural 1 made when making an armor save. And then for Grommel weapons, hand weapon carried by a model with this special rule has an armor-piercing characteristic of -1, which also means it does specify hand weapon. So if you give someone something other than that hand weapon, it doesn't carry over.
Yeah. And then, Mike, do you have your book handy for Forces of Fantasy?
What page are we on?
39. 39.
Jeez,
the Slayers don't have to read. It's okay.
We don't. So we were on Grommel weapons. Is that correct?
We just finished that. You got the last two, Resolute and Rune.
So Resolute. So dwarves are grim and determined, and the warriors are that abandon a position with great reluctance. So basically, models with this special rule suffer a -1 modifier as a result of any flee or pursuit roll that they make. And then we have Rune Lore. I'm not going to give you the description of that one. A model with this special rule may be nominated to attempt a wizardly dispel, as if it were a wizard, for purposes of wizardly dispel attempts. I mean, Anvil of Doom counts as a level 3 wizard, a Rune Lord counts as a level 2 wizard, and a Runesmith counts as a level 1 wizard. I really like that rule, actually.
Yeah,
I will say they're all one too small.
That's
yes, they are.
That's fair.
Yes.
I will agree to that. Although that Anvil of Doom is nice though.
Yeah,
I do like it. Quick read through. So general army composition list: 0 to 1 king or Anvil of Doom, or Rune Lord per 1,000 points, and then as many Thanes, Runesmiths, Demon Slayers, Dragon Slayers, Dwarf Engineers as you'd like, up to 50%. Cores got your warriors, your coilers, your thunderers. 0 to 1 units can be rangers as your core choice, and if your general's a king, which Matt usually does that, 0 to 1 Longbeards may be taken as core, obviously minimum 25. Special, up to 50 of these: Longbeards, Ironbreakers, Miners, Slayers, Gyrocopters. 0 to 1 unit Hammers per king or Thane taken. 0 to 3 War Machines chosen from below per 1,000 points: Bolt Thrower, Grudge Thrower, Cannon. And then rare, 25%. You have Rangers, Iron Drakes, Gyro Bombers, and 0 to 2 of these following per 1,000 points: Organ Guns, Flame Cannons. And we don't care about mercenaries or allies here, so we're moving on from that. Because dwarves don't need no help.
they don't want no help.
They don't want no help.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, if you're running this army and you're not using your one allocation of a core ranger unit, you're not playing the army right.
I can't disagree with that. They're too valuable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so good.
But let's start with the character section first here. So we got the Dwarf Lords, Kings and Thanes. So obviously dwarves, you're going to be movement 3. You're going to be strength 4 typically. These guys are toughness 5. Multiple wounds. Initiative 4 is going to be your standard. Leadership 10. This is going to be a very, very high leadership army. And they have weapon skills 7 and 6. And of course the Thane can be your BSB. So, Matt, yes. I know this is more the realm of you. We will all have kings in our lives, but if you're going to build out a king, how would you generally kit him out, like as far as weapons and stuff, not necessarily magic items yet?
Right. So I mean, as far as that goes, if you're going to bring a king for the points, you got to make him worth it. So we're going Oath Bearers. I'm going to keep him with the hand weapon, just for the simple fact that I'm going to rune it up, and that's whenever you get the Grommel and you get everything else stacking. So you don't necessarily want to take the heavy or the great weapon for that. And then if you're not going to take something to give him +1 to his save for the runes, you're going to need to give him the shield. Plus, it's only 2 points. Yeah, give him the shield.
Now, are you going to put him on a shield bearer or an oath stone at all?
Oh no, he has to go on. Unless you have something very specific, shield bearers all the way.
Okay, gotcha. Nice. I'm glad I got that new kit sent over here to work up. And shield bearers, yeah, they have 3 wounds, so that wounds go from 3 to 6 when you do that with him.
And they also have their own attack profile.
And I assume that they have Grommel weapons. Assume it's just hand weapons, so they'll get the benefit of that extra rend too. Nice. Okay. And then let's not forget both these have Ancestral Grudge, which, Mike, do you want to read what Ancestral Grudge is for us?
Ancestral Grudge is... Where we go? Oh, there we go. Model with this special rule has a hatred enemies characteristic special rule, meaning it hates all characters in the opposing army. If this character joins a unit of Longbeards or Hammers, that unit also gains that special rule. Should this character leave the unit of Longbeards or Hammers, they have joined for any reason, that unit loses this special rule. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that a lot.
I don't know why your Dwarf Lord would ever leave his Hammers.
Right.
Because he's just going to they're going to challenge everything. But yeah, no, that's a nice perk. And obviously Thane, like I said, I assume he's typically going to be on foot. Would you guys ever consider putting him on an Oath Stone? Because I mean, your dwarf unit's not running that far anyway, so it might just be okay to just lock yourself to the ground.
If I had 15 points lying around, maybe, but typically that doesn't happen in the army. But I mean, it would be nice to, like, oh crap, I have that super killy whatever it is, I need to buy myself a turn. I challenge you. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, 60 points for a Thane. I think it's possible even to get a Thane BSB in there and then a Thane on Oathstone to just be super defensive and tanky and just eat a challenge potentially.
Right.
So it's not too bad.
No.
So, yeah, he's fairly cheap. But next up we have the Anvil of Doom, which is one of my favorite units.
Real quick,
Yeah.
I don't think I noticed. Can you put a Thane on shield bearers?
I don't see why you can't. It's an option for it. Yeah, you could put your BSB on shield bearers. Technically, right?
Silly. Why not?
This is the tallest dwarf unit in the land.
It's a centerpiece.
It is. It
along
is.
Along with your king. So
there you go. So Anvil of Doom, what do we got here? We got a nice, big, hefty, big piece of metal that you could kill somebody with, and I love it. It's essentially it's your wizard. This is the closest. This is what you get as a wizard. I mean, you have a rune priest, but like if you want to actually be effective on the table in Magic, I think you take an Anvil of Doom.
Yeah, I mean,
or within the Magic phase, I should say. It's not Magic technically, even though it works exactly the same.
I love the Anvil of Doom, but it is so like heavy pros and heavy cons. The heavy pros are you have that whenever you tick up into that level 3 is whenever you have the increased unbind space.
Mm-hmm.
So you are actually able to get some more unbind rolls than say like your Rune Lord would, or Rune Smiter, or Rune Smith.
Right.
Not Rune Smiter, that's Fire Slayers.
We're gonna screw that up a lot.
Oh yeah.
Now, for the cons, he's only a level 3 wizard. So anytime you're gonna cast anything, it's not going off.
No, but you're casting so much that I think you could probably get something through. Plus, not to mention, like once you start getting these off, he'll become a target, and you should probably have given him the master rune that makes him toughness 10. And this immovable 5-up thing with toughness 10 that can never be hurt or killed is just going to sit there like, I don't care if you're going to keep dispelling me, because eventually I'll kill your wizards.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the big issues. Like I said, with just how prevalent level 4 wizards are, it does make him just. It's like he's able to get to school, but he's late for the school bus. It's
That's fair. That's fair. Real quick, like I said, he's immovable. He has a 5-up ward on this big brick, and then he has, obviously his runes he can smite or strike. He's not casting. Let's see. There's Oath of Steel. You can reroll friendly failed armor saves. It's cast on a higher 11 or more. Needs a 7 for the basic. Reroll any failed armor saves. Improve armor value of 1 to a maximum of 2+, which is phenomenal. Because
I want to get that off on a unit of Iron Breakers so bad.
I got it off on a unit of I think Coilers with shields were about to be charged, and they're just like, nah, bro, don't worry about it. we got this. And so it's like, oh, here's my core just crushing it. That one's fun to get off. Hearth and Home, it's on a 7. Start next turn subface. Friendly dwarfs from 21 inches are immune to psychology. That's hit or miss. It depends on what's out there.
Yeah,
on the table.
That's really the most meh out of all these lists. But any other army would be like, why can't I have that?
Well, until I'm fighting Tomb Kings. I know I have leadership 10 and 9 everywhere, but I just don't want to do those rolls, so I'll do this roll instead. Haste and Urgency. Friendly unit is not fleeing, has already moved during movement phase, can move again. That is amazing for dwarves. That's the one you're going to want every single time. I don't care what unit.
Yeah, especially if you're in a marching column.
Yeah.
Agree.
With a Bugman cart.
And then Wrath and Ruin. Target enemy unit suffers 2d6 strength 4 hits, each with AP of -2. Nothing to sneeze at there. I love just popping chariots with this one, actually. They were like, oh, you're going to flank me? No, that's gone. Because don't forget, you have 360 vision with this guy. He's skirmish.
Right.
Yeah. I like all that for 235 points of what I feel is mandatory in your list. Well, we got... don't worry, Mark. I wanted to say Matt and Mike at the same time. It came out Mark, so I guess that's how that name was created. Listen, don't worry, Mike. We're getting to the Slayers of Legend. But Matt, do you have anything to say?
No. You were good. You were good.
So Matt, do you have anything to say about rune smiths? I know you like them.
Yeah. So these are probably
Lord
my
or Rune
favorite.
Smith,
Yeah, probably my favorite hero in the book. In 8th edition, it was always Runesmith because there was very little difference between the two, and the points were pretty big. And again, the point differences here are pretty big as well. I mean, 120 for the Rune Lord, and 65 for Runesmith. But what you get for that Rune Lord is he's going to be a level 2 instead of level 1 wizard for dispelling. And on top of that, he also has a higher. He has 125 points of runes you can put on him. So you can make him defensive, make him a little killy, and then still have room for runes of breaking on them. I really haven't tried a runesmith yet, just because I basically start with the rune lord.
The runesmiths. I've done double runesmiths with like next to nothing on them because I have a unit of Coilers and a unit of Thunderers, and I just really want that Forge Fire.
Yeah.
The
Forge Fire is awesome.
Yeah. So, do you want to read what Forge Fire is?
Yeah, Forge Fire. If this character joins a unit, that unit gains the Armor Bane 2 and Flaming Attack special rules. Should this character leave the unit, it is joined for any reason, that unit loses these special rules.
Right. So I'm just putting them in naked just to give that buff to my shooting units essentially. So
right.
Why not? And we forgot to mention this too. Pretty much all the dwarves are going to have magic resist. So if you cast a spell on them, there's going to be like a -2, a -1, -2. So that's kind of throughout the whole book. Just forgot to mention that. That's a pretty big important thing. But yeah, Matt, I suggest, it's hard to get all of that in, but like if you don't do the Rune Lord, try 2 Rune Smiths, mostly naked. Maybe give them like some other things. I kind of like that, but it also depends on your army build.
Right.
I still do gun lines. Go figure. All right, Mike, you've been patient. You're kind.
No.
You're
good.
Slayers of Legend. Tell me why I would take. I'm not even gonna look at this because I've not actually run any Slayers in any of my dwarf lists yet.
Okay.
What do these guys do? Why do I want to bring them? Bring the heat.
They're Slayers. I mean, that's first and foremost. They're badasses. They've made an oath, right? They're trying to fix their past transgressions by finding an honorable doom, right? That's what they're there for. I mean, there's multiple different types of, Slayers out there. The Demon Slayer and the Dragon Slayer, which is the Slayers of Legend that are in this book. The Demon Slayer is just a heavy hitter. Mm-hmm. I mean, the points difference is significant, like we were just talking about, the Rune Lord, Rune Smith. But I think that if you're running a Slayer army, the Demon Slayer is an auto include. Just because, look, he has an additional wound, he has higher initiative, has an additional attack. I think on 4+, if you hit on a 4+, it automatically goes through, right? I think it's
the Slayer
when
of
this
Demons.
character, so it's called Slayer of Demons. When this character makes a roll to wound, a roll of a 4+ is always successful, which is freaking awesome, regardless of target's toughness. In addition, each unsaved wound inflicted by this character against an enemy model with Warp Spawn special rule, or whose troop type is Behemoth, has multiple wounds D3 special rule.
Right. So
which
he's chasing monsters or demons.
He's a monster slayer. Right, exactly. Either or. Now the Slayer of Dragons, I don't know that one too well because that's for the Dragon Slayer. Because I don't think I'd ever take the Dragon Slayer, but if I were, it says when this character makes a roll to wound, the character of a 4+ is always successful regardless of the target's toughness, which is the exact same. In addition, each unsaved wound inflicted by this character against an enemy model whose troop type is Behemoth has multiple. So it's basically the same thing.
It is.
Yeah, this is Behemoths only.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
it kind of comes down to your meta. What's in your meta? Do you have if you don't have any demon players in your meta, take 2 Dragon Slayers.
Yeah, agreed. I still think a Demon Slayer. I don't know.
I mean, they're
cool.
Like
Demon
cool.
Slayer stats.
I mean,
yeah.
Again, I mean, it's nice to be able to put a Demon Slayer into anything as opposed to the Behemoths only.
Yeah, and
I don't think we have anybody running anything like that, at least in our group of people that play, right?
no, not yet. I haven't seen that because it's actually odd. A lot of people have been still going towards like the core factions, not the renegade
Right.
factions yet, but that's slowly
Right.
starting to turn. I we'll see it eventually, and then Mike will bring this demon slayer and make that person put the army away forever.
Yes. I can't wait, man. Like I'm really chomping at the bit to start some new dwarves.
I get you.
So I'm looking forward to it.
No,
yes,
I get you. And,
absolutely.
Let's not forget for slayers, they're all gonna have that death blow. They're all
Yep.
gonna be unbreakable, apparently. Which is just amazing. And they don't care about. They have no concern about no concern about psychology.
Psychology.
Yeah. Despite the fact they're leadership 10, they don't care about it anyway.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, they're just monsters.
Yeah, you know, just
Monsters,
just
I love
little
it.
missiles you just throw out, which I like. I might try some dragon slayers on my end.
Yeah.
All right, next up, dwarf engineers, cream of the crop right here, with their weapon skill 4, but ballistic skill 5.
Chuck's wheelhouse. Here we go.
This is where I'm at. Typical dwarf stats. Obviously, these are more like, if you think old fantasy, these are hero level, not lord level. You can give him pistol or brace of pistols, so how many shots you want, 1 or 2. Give him a great weapon, give him a handgun. Of course, they can have up to 50 points of magic, runic, talismanic runes for weapons and armor. Here's where they come in, though. They have Artillery Master. Unless this character is fleeing or engaged in combat once per turn during the shooting phase, a friendly unit of Quarrelers, unit of Thunderers, or Dwarf War Machine that is within command range can reroll any rolls to hit of a natural 1 or reroll a single artillery dice. So, you have to pick your poison, but if you're going for that big shot, put it on a cannon. I tend to usually want to put it on like my Quarrelers for range, and then as I get closer, Thunderers, and then like I said, if there's like a couple sweet shots and like I need to get this one like last couple wounds off like this big beast that's about to hit me, then I'll throw it on a cannon or a war machine. But I like it. I wish our cannons were better. I'll say that outright. But I like the engineers just for their versatility on my gunline style army. They also have entrenchment. So during deployment, I can entrench a single non-character model whose troop type is war machine for each character in army with this special rule. So each engineer can entrench 1 war machine. And these guys are only 50 points, so you could feasibly bring 2 if you wanted, if you're going that heavy. Entrenched war machines considered to be behind partial cover and to be defending low linear obstacles should a war machine move for any reason is no longer entrenched. Now, that's okay. It just gives you a little bit bonus, if you're being shot at or anything. But with the updated rules for fanatics, not liking those little obstacles in the way, if you have a lot of goblin players with fanatics in your meta, you could safely put a couple of these war machines off to the side if you don't have hills on your table, and they could be, have a little bit more safety with that. So that's fun, and you can see, and it'd be fun to see a fanatic too just run into it and bounce off and die because it hit an obstacle. All right, and then stand back chief. Essentially, you get lookout sir within 3 inches of a war machine, so you can safely leave this guy just hunkering around war machines if you choose to. I haven't done that yet, but I used to do that in 8th edition. He would just sit next to it, but there's that. So I like engineers. Like I said, if you're taking anything that's going to have Quarrelers, Thunderers, or any of the war machines, you're bringing at least 1, if not 2 of these guys, I think. Obviously, points become a premium when we start upgrading here, but...
Yeah, I wish there was some way for him to improve the ballistic score of war machines, because that would really turn on like the organ gun, the dwarf crossbow,
bolt thrower.
what was that thing called? Bolt thrower.
Yeah.
It really turn them on, because that's the only thing, in my opinion. We'll get to it. Those are my only downsides to those those war machines.
I think the biggest problem is he's always been associated with the previous editions with cannons. That's kind of
Right.
where his bread and butter is. So they want to focus on that artillery dice being the big awesome thing, but cannons are kind of lackluster in the dwarf army. They've been toned down from what they were, which is right, but they feel a little bit too toned down, which is a different issue.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind if they would open him up to be more in general of War Machines, but he seems to be just wanting to focus on the cannons mostly. Like,
Yeah.
But, all right, so we're gonna move into the core next. So we got Dwarf Warriors, Longbeards, Coilers, Thunderers, and yeah, and we'll talk about the Rangers, Hammers after that. So, real quick, Warriors, they're just cheap battle line. Are any of us bringing Dwarf Warriors?
I tried a lot, but with the inclusion of the inability to step up, makes them next to worthless.
As inefficient as a full Slayer list will probably be, I'm not going to be bringing these guys.
No, that's fine. I've tried them. They just kind of sit there to guard something, and I'm like, that's a lot of points doing nothing. Just, you know, is what it is. But Longbeards, though, Matt, why don't you tell us about the Longbeards?
Yeah, so the Longbeards are essentially your elite choice of your warriors. They have that increased weapon skill. They actually have the base weapon skill of 5. So you're going to be harder to hit. You're going to be, they also have the heavy armor, so they can get a shield. So they'll be the same to wound, or the same to save. But like I said, that weapon skill 5 really comes in clutch.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing that you get a lot of you get the drilled special rule in there. They also have for them specifically venerable.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they also have the veteran rule baked in, so you don't have to buy it.
Yeah, you just go buy the drilled rule, but that's not too bad.
Right. But the venerable rule, that's unique to them, where unless this unit is fleeing, friendly units within 6 inches can re-roll any failed panic test. So whenever you finally fail that 10 leadership, you get to re-roll it.
Yeah, you could effectively go without a BSB in this army if you have that big unit of Longbeards in your center, probably.
I mean, with the standard runes, I probably wouldn't, but you could.
I mean, true, very true, but it's possible. I mean, that standard goes down, you have backup essentially.
Yep.
That's nice. No, I like them. They're my choice over the Warriors for sure. I'd rather bring them just to be put. To be fair, I might skip out on Hammers and bring Longbeards and put my King in there just because it's just as good. I feel for if you're not chasing things around, if you're just waiting to be run into and you have a nice defensive lord.
Yeah, I would say like if you're going to put your lord into the Longbeards, I would probably either put them on foot or an Oathstone. I don't know if I would go the full points to do.
Shield bears? No, not
shield bears. Just because, like I said, the unit's not going to hold up as well.
Yeah,
so.
No, I'd put it on Oathstone to make them just unkillable.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay. Well, next we have Coilers and Thunderers. I run both of these. Mike, do you have any preference on those? Are you fitting any of those into your Slayer army at all?
I mean, it'll be a Thunderers if any.
Okay.
I mean, that's just my preference. But yeah, I don't see, like I said, my army is going to be mainly for fluff purposes.
Sure.
Because I love the lore of the Slayers or the lore of the Slayers. Eventually, maybe what I'll do is I will build the army out, of course, because there's just so many different ways that you can go with this. I mean, Bretonia, you could do that, right? But it's not to the extent that you could do that with, say, Greenskins or Dwarves, right? Where you have a few different routes you can pivot, I don't know. With that being said, though, long story short, Thunders is what I would bring if I were to flesh that army out, which I eventually will.
Yep. No, I love them both. I'll run them both. I've thought about adding more, but like I said, I have enough for the type of list I like running right now.
Plus, skills, guns are cool.
Yeah,
guns are cool.
Guns are cool. Bows are cool. Like, it's just do you want more range or a little bit more rend?
More fire, more firepower.
That's my whole thing too. Is like I like the idea of the Thunderers more, but for 1 point less, you get all that extra range, and you're going to be putting a rune something in the unit of Thunderers, so you're going to be getting Armor Bane 2 at least.
What I like to do, just on tables I play on, are the old Realm of Battle boards often. I mean, you guys have seen them out there at the barn. So I'll do on the top hill, cannons. Next is the Coilers, and in front is the Thunderers. Thunderers will get shields, Coilers will get great weapons. Because
with
that's solid.
Coilers, I give them both.
Or you could do both, yeah. I wish I had more points in my army for sure. But I just like that mentality. Like, these ones hold the line, and if they break, well then all hell's about to break loose. So I might as well try and kill you. I mean, they're dwarves. They're toughness 4, so you give them a shield, they're gonna be fine. You know, like
Right.
they're gonna hold more than you think, even though they're not shooting anymore. But yeah,
It's like a bunch of mini tar pits all over the board. You know.
yeah. These are always in my list, and I love them. But now we're like I did the Slayers. I'm just gonna pass this to Matt. And say Rangers, please.
Yeah. So with the Rangers, you get that ballistic skill of 4, which just changes the game. So these are essentially your elite thunder or your elite quarrelers, because on top of you having the crossbows and the heavy armor, you can give them shields, you can give them great weapons. On top of that, you can even take throwing axes. A lot of people want to know, why do I take throwing axes if I already have crossbow? One of the kind of the little bit, I kind of consider it a tiny bit of an advanced rule that people forget about, is whenever you charge within a certain distance, you can't
within the movement
react.
Yeah.
Right. With throwing axes, you can still shoot.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason to take them. The other thing that you have is these are skirmishers, they are scouts, and they have the ability to move through cover.
Mm-hmm.
So you basically put them wherever you want, so you start the game shooting your opponent.
Yeah. And typically, if they left you room in the backfield, and we've all experienced this and probably done this with their various scout units. If I'm in your backfield and you don't have war machines, I'm just harassing you the whole way up till you get to my army.
Right.
The whole time. And if you have war machines, these will kill it. They don't,
Right.
and they could just charge in and kill it. They don't have to worry about shooting it to death.
Yeah, honestly, even though I put my Rangers in like the most dangerous positions possible, they are typically some of the only units that are left by the end of the game.
Like I said, they're associated with Bugman because there's the Bugman Rangers from the old the prior edition. So, which that's mine. Most of mine are the Bugman Rangers, which is just, I love them to death. And every good dwarf loves a drink. So, Mike, I gotta wonder though, do these make the cut for your Slayer army? I have a feeling they do.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Well, Rangers in the Dwarven lore have always been something I've leaned towards. Even when I play D&D with friends, I'll make a Dwarven Ranger, which is inefficient, but still, I just love. I mean, Baldur's Gate, Dwarven Ranger, right?
Yep.
Yeah, just the lore, just the background of them. The survivability that Matt was mentioning. I mean, you can kind of stick them anywhere on the board, and they'll pretty much survive anything. Yeah, so yeah, absolutely, 100%. These would be a part of in my army. Yes.
Nice. No, I agree. I like them. I put them in my army too. I will admit they weren't my first always go to at first, but yeah, now they're always a 1 in my army.
Auto include.
Yeah, they're auto include.
Yeah, my favorite thing to do is I find the unit that I know my opponent wants to just run forward with, and I just put them off to the side.
A little bait.
And what are you going to do? Are you going to be able to handle 15 to 20 of these guys shooting at you, or what do you want to do?
Yeah.
Terry found out quick. When you guys played. I looked down at his game, and then like 20 minutes later, I looked down again, and like there's no orcs left on the board. I was like, oh, okay.
Well, we'll go over what happened there, and I did tell him fully what was going to happen, and he still did it. So,
yeah.
Well, that's Terry. That's a Terry thing.
Well, I love it. When I had my high elf army, I was playing you, Matt. You told me what was going to happen. I'm like, nah, you got more of a shot than you think. And then you're like, oh, I just ran through your back line. And you're like, okay, we're done.
Yep.
Matt knows his dwarf armies. He can read that field of battle before you roll single dice. All right, so we got the hammers next. So if you're bringing a king, you might want to consider these guys just because of the Royal Guard ability here. So your army may include 1 unit of hammers for every king or thane it includes. Any model in a unit of hammers has been joined by a king or thane can issue and accept challenges in the same manner as a character. Should the king or thane leave the unit for any reason, it loses his ability, obviously. So these guys, weapon skill 5, crazy. And then they have their great hammers, and then the Stoic Defender's ability, during turn in which it was charged, because it's good, because you're not charging with dwarves too often, you're usually being charged. A model of this special rule gains a +1 modifier to its initiative and attacks. So all of a sudden, that attacks 1 go to attack 2. Initiative 3, it's to initiative 4, which isn't always great, but whatever. But yeah, great hammers. Requires 2 hands, strength +2, -2 AP, armor bane, and magical attacks. Guess what it doesn't have? Strikes last.
Strikes last.
Yep. So, what do you guys think of hammers before we take a slight break and refresh the call? Because the warning popped up on my end because I'm still too cheap.
So these guys, I will say they are not as good as they were in 8th edition.
Okay.
In 8th edition, these were absolute monsters that you were just... If they were near you, you were not going to stay on the table. Now, again, with the issues that you kind of run into is that you have to worry about the step up rule.
Yeah.
You have to kit them out very specifically. And then also one of the issues you run into is the size of the base of the Rune Lord on shield bearers. Takes away some of your frontline capability.
Yeah, he's taking up, 2 slots?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be rough. Mike, I don't think you're kitting out a king and throwing him in some hammers, but any thoughts on them?
No. I really don't have too much because I didn't play the last edition, right?
Right.
The old world is my introduction into fantasy, so I really don't have too much to stand on as far as like how they performed before and how they're performing now. So yeah, I don't have anything to add to what Matt just said.
All right. No, I don't either. Like I said, I think they're nice. I see a reason to take them if you're building that way. I probably won't. I'd rather be more defensive than offensive on my end with that sort of thing. So, but with that, before we move on to the what's before we move on to the next step, we will be right back. Okay, and with my cheap ass, fix that. We are back to talk Iron Breakers.
Have you taken Iron Breakers yet?
I took a unit of Iron Breakers. I did what? But I did the 18 of them. And it sat there and it held my BSB and no one wanted to go into it. What about you?
Yeah. So no, not yet.
Okay.
I want to. The problem is like with our group loves anything that has AP. If it has a bunch of AP, we're totally taking it. So even though these guys are sitting there with, the 4-up re-rolling ones, that's essentially a nothing. That's that's either a 6-up or it goes through the arbor. So
let's see if a 6-up ward against non-magical.
Yeah, right. But that's only good for you.
Yeah, I can roll 6-ups on my ward saves. No one else can.
Which I will say, I do. One of the rules that I missed from 8th edition is the turn that we're charged, we get a 6-up ward.
Oh yeah.
It made even warriors good, man. It was
true.
so.
That's true.
Yeah, like I said, I mean they don't really do too much damage, but you're going to frustrate the living tar out of your opponent because he's going to go in with the super killy thing and he's going to remove like 3 dudes.
It will, because these guys are also weapon skill 5 base. So someone sends something in and they're like, "You're what?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm weapon skill 5. Have good luck." half your stuff is now missing, and whatever does go through, unless it, like I said, has high AP, my armor will save it. And even if you have a high AP, I still got a shot at that ward. I do like them. I tend to put them in. They're the most classic dwarf thing in my mind that I love the most. Like just this wall of just fucking iron that like you are not supposed to get through. So I really like them, if I'm honest. Like they're probably my, outside of like engineer type thing, they're probably my favorite dwarf unit.
I mean, right, same here. I love the way they look. I love the narrative behind them. I love their intended role. But like I said, with the game that it is now, it's like, are you high initiative and are you killing, no, you're not very good.
That's fair. I mean, what you do is you give him the Drake gun. By the way, your champion.
Chuck,
What?
you said doo-doo.
I did say doo-doo. What you do. I did say doo-doo. 18-inch range, strength 5, -1 AP, armor bane 2, dwarf crafted, flaming attacks, quick shot.
Yeah, that's
fun.
Yeah.
I like that a lot. Anyway, now Iron Drakes. Mike, what do you think about Iron Drakes?
I mean, I love the lore. I love that they burn stuff. I think that's pretty cool. But I mean, I like I said, it's hard for me to give any kind of context
Sure.
on any of these units on my side. But just the thought of them sounds badass to me. I did to go back to the Total War games, right? I love playing as dwarves, and I always brought. I can't. I mean, I bring a ton of units of Iron Drakes towards the end of the game, just because
Yeah.
they're expensive units. You know, in that game, that's what I'm going off of, right? And I do like their lore. The lore is awesome. So I would probably bring them on my side. I don't know what you guys would do on your end, but yeah, why not?
I will bring them. Not for anything else other than the champion's Troll Hammer Torpedo.
Yep.
24-inch range, strength 8, AP 3, multiple wounds D3. Hi. Okay, I'm sorry. How long is it going to take that dragon or big beast or whatever have you to get into me? A couple turns? I might be able to kill it by then with just him.
Right.
Like
Well,
I love
this,
it.
from my experience, is the best unit in their army right now. That's why whenever Neil and I played some games and we tried to work on getting me a list that was a little bit more spicy. I hate it because now we're kind of getting a little close to KO territory where my opponent goes, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'm taking 5-man units.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You to get 2 troll hammers.
Well, no, everyone gets a troll hammer, so I have 5 troll hammers in there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And essentially, what it is it's whatever. I have a couple guys behind that wall, but like I stagger them so you can never get into more than one.
Yeah. So yeah, for each minimum unit to get a troll hammer torpedo in there is just phenomenal, and you do it every time.
Yeah. And so I said the troll hammer is essentially a mini cannon.
Yeah.
Except for you don't have to worry about
blowing up,
not miscasting, mishapping, or whatever the hell it's called.
Misfire.
Misfiring. There it is.
You'll get there. Yeah. No. You could really be obnoxious and spam these in just MSU style as much as the list rules will allow. But
yep.
Even still, I mean, don't forget they're in full plate armor, which is Grommel. So like. They can stand up to a charge. They're also stubborn. So, even a decent sized unit getting charge isn't the worst thing in the world with a decent weapon skill. But
4 up without a shield, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'll live with that considering I just shot the crap out of you. And if these are all MSU, like I said, yeah, you're getting to KO territory where it's like, I'm going to play my game and you have fun.
You play your charge at me where I get to stand and shoot, and I don't take the -1 to it.
Yeah. Oh, and since these guys love fire, 5-up ward against flaming attacks, which doesn't matter in this game.
Sir not appearing in this game.
Sir not appearing in this game. Sir used to be in every list I ever ran, now no longer there. All right, well, we got miners up next. Miners are cool. They're dwarves, diggy hole. I would play it right now, but I don't know if it's copyrighted heavily enough that I would not be allowed to play it on YouTube. But go check out Windrose's version of it because
Windrose is the shit.
Yes, they are. They have a new album coming out.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they just I put in I forget which chat I put it in, but like the Gates of Ekrond is like their latest.
I thought that was already out.
I might be behind. I might be behind on it too. I just saw it.
Okay.
So.
Yeah,
I'm
they. I mean, I'm Scottish too, and they're a Scottish band. So yeah,
Scottish dwarf band.
They're awesome. Absolutely.
But yeah, miners. You got the standard dwarf loadout there with weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 3. niche 2, nothing special, but they have Vanguard, which sure, you can Vanguard if you like. And then you can have blasting charges or the steam drill. And that's the champion will get to take this, either one of these. Blasting charges is a 6-inch range ranged weapon, strength 3, -1 AP, armor bane 1, flaming attacks, quick shot. Okay, but how about a combat strength +3, so we're on strength 6, -3 AP, furious charge, requires 2 hands, strike last. Like, hey, I'm gonna mess you up if I live. I hope.
Yeah, you just don't pull the guy with the steam drill. That's all.
Yeah, you just don't pull him. Well, I mean, unless they purposely call out they're attacking the champion, they don't. Champion lives through combat.
That's true.
Yeah.
Again,
they're neat. I don't know how useful they are considering we have rangers to fill that role.
Right. Well, so whenever we get over to our Arcane Journal, they're a little more useful. They're a little pricey for what they are. If they were like 10 points, or if they still had the old mine cart that you had different weapons in there, and you had I forget what the range weapon was, but you could pull a range weapon out of your mining cart, and so you could basically pop up a little turret wherever you wanted on the battlefield.
That's the there's the miner cart in the Arcane Journal.
A little different.
Yeah, it's a little different. Yeah, but we do have it, and I have 2 right here, thanks to my friend over in England, Kevin. Anyway, all right. So miners, cool. I don't know. They're definitely not.
I'd like to take them.
I would like to take them. All right, Mike. Slayers, Troll Slayers, Giant Slayers.
Yes.
What we got?
Yes. Looking at their rules and looking at everything on here, I do like the Fight Me ability that they have.
Okay.
Which any model has a special rule that they can issue and accept challenges in the same manner as a character.
It's like the hammers, but they just do it because they just fight me.
Because they're assholes.
Yeah.
Right? They
Little dwarf
they just
assholes.
want to kill everything. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, what would your guys' take on this be as far as kitting them out? Would you guys give them the great weapon, or would you give them dual, or what would be the situation where you would take one or the other?
If I had a
probably
sorry, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I would probably go with the additional hand weapon. Well,
With that.
It's hard to say. So
Yeah.
I guess the issue, what it boils down to, is they're going to die.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That's what
So
they're there for.
So you don't necessarily have to worry about strike glass. So maybe, they're just so bad, Mike. They're just so
They're
bad.
terrible. They are terrible. Like I said, I know once I make that army, they're going to be so inefficient. It's just going to. It's not. Yeah. I know my role and I know my place, right? But I don't care. I freaking love them.
Well, I said the big issue that the dwarves kind of run across with most of their army is the no step up. So it's like you have a 5 wide, you take 6 wounds, you're not participating in their combat, you'll fall back, they charge in, do 6 wounds, you pull your front row, they don't do anything. But at least with these guys, they get the death blow.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I could actually see you taking both.
Yeah, let's not forget an important rule here. They have Motley Crew. You can mix it.
Right.
That's
true as well.
Your front rank for the first turn of combat could be the extra hand weapons, and then after that, you can just be great weapons and they can deal with it. So
yeah.
So Motley Crew makes it much more exciting, but it's expensive.
It's expensive as hell, but like potentially going Giant Slayers, so you have 2 attacks with those great weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Death blow.
I mean, now you are talking about a 21-point single wound, gonna die model.
The glass cannon, bunch of glass cannons running around, but
more like a glass bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I wish they had some sort of like ward save against non-magical attacks or something.
I would agree with that.
Even if
these guys had step up.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like on the turn that they charge, they don't slow down for the people that died in front of them.
Yeah, that would be.
I mean that would be that. I mean, and that would also be a lore rule, right? I mean, that align with their lore. They're not gonna. They're not. I mean, if you've read the Gotrek and Felix books,
Yeah,
I mean, you know, how many Slayers have died in those books in Gotrek's? Of course, he's
all
pissed,
but one.
but he just
all but one.
Right, exactly. Well, okay.
Well, it's, yeah, it's all but one. We'll leave it there.
Yes. Okay. But yes. You know, in those books, Gotrek's, you know, fighting, even though 2 or 3 Slayers died right next to him, right? He doesn't give a shit. So that would be nice if they add to that rule. But
so, Mike, since I know you read those books too, do you remember Leatherbeard?
Yes.
I want a model unit like Leatherbeard, Matt, and for the audience. So there's a character named Leatherbeard, and it was well, Gotrek and Felix were actually, I think they were defending essentially the Slayer keep.
Yes.
And so there were a bunch of Slayers with him, and like that, no one liked Gotrek because Gotrek just couldn't die. But there was one called Leatherbeard, and he was very quiet, kept to himself, and he wore like a full leather headpiece, and like the beard was leather and all of that, and like no one really thought much of it. And then like some of the Slayers were like drinking and roughhousing between like, you know, the attack waves or whatever, and bumped into him and knocked his thing off. And it turned out he was a dwarf that a Skaven gas bomb hit him, or at least nearby, and his only downside was all of his hair fell out, which is hard.
So you can, you can have the crest.
He can't have the crest, so like so he went to go take the oath, but the problem is you're supposed to shear your beard and everything to do it. But so like he had like his hair that fell out, but since he couldn't grow it back, they crafted him this, so he had the leather beard. But his ending was just so epic. In like the final like couple chapters, I think it was like he poured like this incredible like potent alcohol on him and lit himself on fire and just waded into the Skaven, and everyone just stopped to watch him wade in, and like they just watched him go for like minutes while he was on fire, just ruining these Skaven until he finally like burned to death. The Skaven didn't kill him; he burned to death. It was
yes,
the most baller burned in moment for a dwarf slayer in my head. I want that.
And when I read that, and I was thinking about, you know, have you seen the 30K Space Wolf models? I forget what unit it is, but they all have the leather masks.
Yeah,
like you could easily do a kit bash with one of those heads, like
it would be
super
worthwhile.
easily.
It'd be worthwhile,
right?
Well, whenever you do this, you have to do it now because you brought it up.
Okay. Well,
who, me? No.
Yeah, you.
No, he has to do it.
Well, no, you're the Slayer guy.
You are a Slayer.
Well, yeah, but I don't think he'd be around. No, well, maybe. No,
I don't think he'd be around yet.
No, I don't think he'd be around yet.
He was fairly young.
Yeah.
Father of skin leatherbeard.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we're gonna look at the gyrocopters and gyrobombers. We like Slayers; they're cool, they're expensive. Mike's taking a ton of them. Me and Matt are 50-50.
We'll let him do the heavy lift on that one.
Yeah. All right. So gyrocopters, gyrobombers, they're your little zipping around, quick little skirmish, getting away.
Second best unit in the game.
Yeah.
Or in the army.
Well, do you want to talk gyrocopters then? I've run 2, but I'll let you please talk up.
So I want to keep it. I want to keep it up as 2 as well. You could take more, and I know that whenever it first came out, the joke was to like just take a bunch of these.
Yeah, it needs to be units 1 to 6 for 60 points a piece, so they can be units if you want to, and they are skirmish.
Right.
So Strat and
my
Vanguard.
thing is they're really good against light armor targets.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you can just fly them wherever you want them. So if you want to go right next to a line of whatever and just start using your steam gun onto them, that's kind of the point. The whole point of them is
strength 3 minus 1 AP breath weapon, just so people know, like you can do damage. Yep.
So that's a fine weapon. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to clear most things, but it's just strong enough that your opponent can't ignore it.
Yes, except for the time I took it against ogres, and they were all toughness 4, and my
ogres don't count.
Right. Well, it's like Yeah, it's kind of there's a few matchups where you're just like, oh shoot, these are just useless.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, again, at that point, you would basically use the dive bomb. You just charge them in to tie things up. Just
Yeah.
let them,
and what
get a flank or a rear charge,
and the dive bomb real quick once per game. You do dive bomb against the enemy unit not engaged in combat. You have to essentially fly over it, and you're going to be what fly are we? We are a fly 9. Essentially, if you move over your normal moves, the enemy unit suffers D6 strength to hits with an AP of -1. For each model in that unit, it's moved over. For each natural 1, the bomb is misfired, and you lose a single wound. So yeah, if you get a big unit you can cross over, you can do some damage with this.
right. And again, they are full plate, and they do have 3 wounds. So
yeah, I actually found I had one. It was against the ogre player, and I actually took them back and just used them as redirecting chaff before my war machines, and that actually worked out pretty well. And I wasn't too unhappy with that for 60 points each. They were still shooting. Their guns became useless too quickly. And after I dive bomb, I'm like, I don't know what to do with these. So they just became redirectors.
right. And the gyro bombers just, I don't know. I don't think it adds too much.
Extra wounds.
The problem is, I get the extra wound for an extra 35 points. The bomb's a little bit more important.
Technically, I mean, they both have impact hits too, so they are technically chariots in their own way. I forgot about that. But yeah, the bombing.
Yeah, no one remembers that.
Yeah, no, I forgot to. But bombing run, you perform this attack on a single enemy unit, not in combat. Fly over it essentially, and then you roll on a table for D6. It explodes. You lose a single wound in a premature detonation. Don't you hate when that happens, guys?
Especially on the wedding night. Wow.
On a 2, a dud. 1 bomb is released but fails to detonate. A single enemy loses a single wound because it hits him in the head. 3 to 4, direct hit. Place a large 5-inch template. Center hole directly over the center of the enemy. Once placed, scatter at D6. Any model whose base lies underneath. Strength 4, AP -1, and then bombs away. Place 2 small 3 inches. They scatter D6, and each one underneath strength 4, AP -1. So they're fun, but that's 95 points. I haven't run one yet, honestly. I only have one. I'd probably only ever bring one.
Like 2 gyrocopters.
Yeah, I'd
right there.
Okay.
Yeah. Right to Rangers, put in your 2 gyrocopters.
Yeah. All right, and then the last.
It could be, Makai Kaisen. I could throw him. He's probably not around.
So he's not. I'm so bummed about this. I was going to buy the Goblin Healer. I like that model a lot. And I was all set, like, yep, I'm going to buy it. It's going to be great. Made to order. I'm in. And then they came out and said, yeah, but he's not, Makaisen's not, since he's not here, we just didn't make his model for it, so the model doesn't come with it. I'm like, well, then why the fuck do I want it?
Right.
I've not seen rules at this point. I'm like, no, I want him. I won't call him. It's just give me that freaking model because I can have the complete thing. You're selling me half a kit. I don't like that. I'm not doing that. I refuse.
Half kit it is at an elevated price.
Listen,
enhanced price.
they went in my book of grudges for not reproducing Malachi, even though he's not there. All right, wrap it up with some war machines here for the core book units at least. Bolt throwers, grudge throwers, cannons, organ guns, flame cannons. To be honest, we don't need to go in detail on these. I usually bring 3 cannons and an organ gun, or 2 cannons and organ gun, depending on my points.
I would bring cannons with my Fire Slayers for sure, and just throw some Fire Slayer heads on the team of why not?
Yeah, I get that.
Even though they'd probably look at it as dishonorable, I guess.
Nah,
but
it's fine.
Yeah, let's throw some cannons in there.
They'll just find a bylaw somewhere and it'll be fine.
Exactly.
they'll put axes in them.
Yeah.
I know bolt throwers can be great. But bolt throwers are great in this whole edition.
Bolt thrower can be great.
I have 1 bolt thrower, but I've not brought
so we'll get to that. So bolt thrower by itself, trash.
Okay.
Grudge thrower by itself, trash. Cannon by itself, trash. Organ gun,
it's okay.
Depends how your day's going.
Yeah, that's true.
Flame cannon, I can't
I didn't even look up the rules. I just assume I don't want to think about it.
I can't imagine it's.
I would assume a breath weapon.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have to be way too close for me to use that.
Right. I mean, you have to be within charge range in order to get it to go off.
Yeah. But I could see the argument for bringing anything except for maybe the flame cannon. I don't see the strength in it. But also, you're pairing this with that engineer, so you're getting some reroll on these dice. I think it's much more valuable on our artillery dice than it is maybe on to hit, because bolt thrower ballistic skill 3. You're right. Why isn't it at least 4?
Yeah,
or why can't I use the engineer's ballistic skill 5?
Because then it'd be ballistic skill 5, and it'd be the best thing in the damn game.
Yeah.
I would never really bolt thrower engineer, bolt thrower engineer.
It's true. How many can I do? All right, I like them. I like war machines, so they're always in for me. I think everybody's bringing dwarf war machines regardless.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess
you're bringing a few. You're always gonna bring a few.
Right now, I'm bringing like 2 organ guns.
That's fair.
Yeah. Yep. The biggest issue with the organ guns is you can't put runes on them anymore for whatever damn
Yeah,
reason.
I mean it happens. All right. So we have a bunch of runic items and stuff. I don't want to go into get stuck in the mud because this is a pretty in-depth section.
Make your hero.
Yeah, essentially, this is make your hero. There's some fun stuff in here. You can really kit bash to be defensive, killy based upon your limit of runes. We can all just let's start with the weapon runes.
Yeah, I'll tell you. I think the most offensive one is the Master Rune of Super Racist.
Let's look at the Master Runes. What? Super. Okay.
I said the most offensive one was.
That's true. You're right. Matt, what is your favorite Master Rune for the weapon runes? We're just going to get Master Runes. Screw the rest. I'm kidding.
The problem is my favorite Master Rune is in basically every other section. So I typically don't go with these too much.
Okay, no, that's fine. It's fine if you don't like them. That's your choice.
I mean, I'd probably say as far as the Master Runes go, if I had to go with one of the weapon smiting, where you get the D6 for multiple wounds, just imagining that my opponent's face whenever I come at him with my Rune Lord with his 4 or 5 attacks, and I get 3 through, and now I'm doing 3d6 damage on him.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I'm like, wait, the what now?
Mike, do you have any special runes you like here?
Master Rune of Dragon Slaying. Even though that's still inefficient, I don't care. I like the name.
Yep, you just
I
want
like
to be
2 up. 2 up is always just, I think that's pretty sweet. So yeah, I mean, just throw them at a dragon, right?
There's 2 I have here. I like the Master Rune of Flight. All of a sudden, your weapon becomes Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
But I don't take it. I like it, but I'm not gonna take it all the time. But tell you what, I will take the Master Rune of Swiftness. Let's pop up Taylor Swift here real quick. Boom.
Oh, jeez.
Just get the joke in.
Of course.
But no, also because do you know how many times? Because I usually play high elves, and I have a lot of first strike going on left and right. You know what I mean? Then I'm playing dwarfs. My opponent comes into me. They're like, "Okay, cool. What's your initiative?" I'm like, "Hold on. My Killy Lord here has strikes first," and they're just like, "God damn it, Chuck, stop it." I'm like, "No, never." In a dwarf army, strikes first, if you can kit your character the right way, will catch everybody off guard, and they'll be like, "Fuck." And you're like, "Oh, by the way, I'm on no stone. I challenge you." And it's just like, "Fuck." But I do like Master Rune Swiftness.
It's only 25 points, so you could technically take 2 Runes of Fury, so you're getting those 2 additional attacks in there, and
yep, just go to town. Any other weapon runes you guys like?
Yeah, like I said, as far as this goes, it's always it's so hard because you have like this little triumvirate here of Fury. Well, not triumvirate because you got 4, because you got Fury, Might, Cleaving, and striking.
Mm-hmm.
Striking is kind of, with the way that the to-hit chart is for this edition, it's not as important.
In order, real quick, is extra attack, extra strength, extra AP, or extra weapon skill. All great things to put onto a character.
Right. I did try one time putting a bunch of striking and a bunch of toughness on a Rune Lord, and it was really funny to watch my opponent. Damn it, I missed. Damn it, I missed. Oh, okay, bye. But it didn't do too much.
Well, I mean, there you go. I mean, it's there could be a universe where it does a lot, so I get it. But yeah, those four with one of the Master Runes potentially are the choices I'm looking at. But anyway, armor runes. Any armor runes you guys are enjoying?
Both of the Master Runes are awesome, and I wish you could take them both.
I know. Yeah, especially Master and Negromal, just you're on a 2-up, can't be improved in any way, shape, or form.
That's sick.
It's so good.
Yes.
It's so good.
Yes.
But like I said,
like that.
Master and Adamant, that goes on my Anvil of Doom. It's toughness 10. Deal with it. just deal with it. It's annoying. It sucks. Yeah, and then like I said, Rune of Stone, I get that's always like the thing I throw in because I have like a couple points left. I don't hate that too much.
Yeah, I kind of miss old Rune of Stone, but I totally get it.
Yeah.
Again, I think this one is like, I basically go with the Master Rune of Rommel, and if I don't go with that, then I'll go with either Rune of Iron or Rune of Fortitude, which is +1 to wound or +1 to toughness based on how many points I have left.
Right. I get you. Well, what about the talismanic runes? I'll be honest with these. I have not looked at these too hard.
Rune Spellbreaking, baby.
Okay, tell me what you got.
So for 25 points, you can give them to Anvil of Doom, Runesmiths only, single use, auto dispel.
Okay, fantastic.
So typically, after I've put a couple defensive runes on my Rune Lord, he gets 3 Rune Break or Spellbreak.
That's not bad at all. Just to shut down magic.
And especially if you want to see Neil poop himself, just tell him his spell doesn't work, and then that's
Yeah. And is this one of the only things in the game that gives you just auto deny a spell?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which that's strong as heck in this army for sure. So.
Now there is one other. Where is it? The Master Rune of Balance. Again, Anvil of Doom or Runesmiths only. Once per turn, the bearer of the Master Rune of Balance may use it when attempting a wizardly dispel. If they do so, roll an extra d6 when making the dispel roll and discard the lowest result.
I'd rather have the toughness 10. I think.
Well, like I said, if you're playing the Anvil right, things won't get into it.
Yeah, I just don't want to be shot. That's the problem. But anyway. It's fine. To each your own. What about standard runes? Mike, do you have a standard rune you like?
Not really. I was looking through all of them. I mean, not really. No, not off the top of my head.
None. You're going to change your tune, my friend.
Yeah, you're going to look at the Master Rune of Hesitation here in a second. Matt?
So first, let's start off with the Master Rune. Master Rune of Grugny. The unit that he's with, ward save of 5. Everyone within 6 inches, ward roll of 6.
Hey, the Slayers have their save now. Awesome.
Yes.
Now this is the battle standard bearer only. So you'd have to change things up a little bit. I don't remember how the Arcane Journals. I know they kind of spice that up a little bit, but you can at least be within 6 inches. So, Now the big one is the Master Rune of Hesitation and Rune of Confusion. The the meta right now is to put your Thane in your hammers. Give the hammers the Master Rune of Hesitation, where an enemy unit that charges the front arc of the unit carrying a standard inscribed with the Rune of Hesitation does not count as having charged for purposes of choosing which weapon to use or using any special rules it may have. So if someone's charging you and they go like, oh, I do double damage whenever I charge, not anymore. Okay, well, I'm going to switch over to these weapons. No, you're not.
No, you're not. Just fuck you. And then
doing your hand.
and then the Thane would get the Rune of Confusion then, right, Matt?
Right. So then the other reason you go with Rune of Confusion, any enemies that charge the front arc, makes a disordered charge, meaning they no longer get their initiative bonus based on their charge. So you put that on your hammers, who whenever they're charged get +1 initiative. Now you're going up against a unit that has a 4 initiative versus whatever their base initiative is, because they're not getting a bonus.
Right.
Which is typically higher than
right. And I remember
gas.
doing this to Matt. This is the one battle Matt should have won in our game. White Lions coming in for that long bomb charge. They make it into this unit with this bullshit, okay? So instead of being, strength, I'd be strength 4, strength 5 because it's a fresh round of combat. Instead of going first with my great weapons, Matt's like, no, enjoy going after me. And I was just like, oh boy, I'm in trouble. Thankfully, Matt's dice did what Matt's dice sometimes do, and he whiffed every attack. So I lived, but I'm not. Yeah, that's a scary unit to charge into right now.
So that's what Terry charged into with his army of black orcs that he put everything into charge abilities for.
Oh god. Oh.
He's like, I get all this. Yes. Oh yeah, I told him. I was like, if you charge, you do not get your initiative bonus. You do not get any of your special rules. And I guess he forgot along the way. Even when he recharged, I was like, are you sure that's what you want to do? He's like, yeah.
Typical Terry.
All right.
I guarantee you he wouldn't do it again.
He's learned his lesson.
Yeah.
All right, so looking at the last runes here, the engineering runes. So right away, my brain went, how do I reroll my artillery dice? Oh, look, Rune of Forging, 15 points. Reroll single misfire on the artillery dice. I can't reroll it, but I'll reroll misfire any day.
Ass and butt stuff, baby. That's
Yep. There's Rune of Reloading, which you could also put on there, but that's if you still misfire, you still get you just shoot next turn. I guess I'm not planning on misfiring because I'm taking the Rune of Forging to reroll it.
So essentially what you would do is you would put your... you would essentially put...
One would have Rune of Forging. One of them I can't. Let's say I have 3
Forging, Rune of Forging, and a Rune of Reloading. And then another one can get 2 runes of Reloading.
Or I could just do Rune of Forging and Stalwart Rune.
Right. Anything like that.
It's just 5 points. I'm not going to win a combat with them. Although I have had...
Well,
they're still dwarves. They can still hold up. But
the biggest thing you're worried about is making it so you're not mirroring what your other units have.
Correct, yeah. Which...
now, one of the reasons why I said Bolt Thrower is great is the Rune of Skewering. Bolt Thrower only, 20 points. A Bolt Thrower inscribed with this rune has +1 modifier to strength characteristic. In addition, no armor save is permitted against wounds caused by a Bolt Thrower inscribed with this rune. Ward and regeneration saves can be attempted as normal. The one thing I forgot to point out about the Bolt Thrower is it is a flat 2 damage as opposed to the cannon's D3 damage.
Correct.
So it will always do more damage than my cannons.
That's true. Especially if you got that big unit of goblins lined up in front of you. Just take them all off. Okay. Well, that wraps up the Forces of Fantasy. That's the core, essentially. So now we're going to look at the Arcane Journal aspect of this. And my God, I have... This is one of the ones... The other Arcane Journals that I've looked at, I've kind of glanced through it, read it. This one, I feel, just has a lot more emphasis on teaching you who the fuck the dwarves are.
We need this guy to work on the Age of Sigmar dwarf armies.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, just iconography all throughout it. And then, of course, their lore, the retaking of Khazad Vosk. And just look at this. Oh my gosh. Like, look at the blurriness because I can't get it to focus. Whatever.
It's censored because of all the boobs.
Ooh. Yeah, beautiful art. Like,
damn it, Mike! Not a single. Oh.
I hate to say.
I was just thinking boobs, man.
I hate to say it because like it's a small book and these are very reasonably priced. I love them. This feels more like a army book or battle tome than all the 3rd edition Age of Sigmar battle tomes. This is more robust. In all honesty, it's a lot of fun rules, a lot of cool characters, lore, background, pictures, art. There's a lot more in this small little book than they gave us, and they said they're changing it in 4th edition. I look forward to seeing if that's true, but yeah, I love this one specifically. This is one I've left out to read through the lore on it afterwards. But so what do we have in here as far as the army stuff going on? So we have 2 different armies. Let's look at the Dwarven Mountain Hold's Royal Clan first. Yes. Is this one up your alley, Matt?
So it definitely brings it closer to what I was hoping for. Mm-hmm. But based on just the core bones of the old world rules, I just don't think this army type works.
Okay, fair.
But I definitely want to try it with the Royal, what are they called?
Royal
something or other. Yeah, the Royal Clan Warriors,
which
where they're kind of bolstered and they're actually kind of give Longbeards a run for their money.
Yeah. Well, just quick on this. You can have one. You need 1 King or Thane, period. And you can have 0 to 1 Anvil Dooms or Rune Lord per 1,000 points.
Means.
Oh, and Rune
Those Anvil of Doom with 2,000 point armies.
That's true. You could do that. I did. Yeah, my brain didn't do that because I was assuming. Yeah, and then Runesmiths, obviously.
You're not going to win because you're not going to be able to bring anything. But
yeah, that's a quarter of your army if you did that at 2,000 points. Core, Royal Clan Warriors, Longbeards, Quarrelers, Special, Hammers, and Dwarf Carts, not including Miners Carts. And then the War Machines, 0 to 3 per 1,000 points. Bolt Throwers,
Should we kind of go over the new units?
We will after we look through here, just like kind of get the idea of how to build these armies. And rare, your Rangers, Iron Breakers, Iron Drakes, and I don't care about Mercenaries.
I also love that.
Well, actually, I should say Mercenaries. This is where they have their own special things. Imperial Dwarf Mercenaries, which was the really expensive made to order. Doom Seekers, which is the Slayers with the chain axes, which will break non-stop, so Kit Bash some Fire Slayer stuff. And 0 to 1 Goblin Hero, which I refuse to buy unless they put Malachi in it.
The other main thing that you can do is you can actually now make a Runesmith your BSB if you want.
Oh, yep, nope, that's a good shout out right there. Yeah.
And I think you get additional runes? 4 points for runes or something somewhere?
Yeah, you get an additional 25 points for runes on the standard.
Oh, yeah.
And the special rules real quick. Matt, do you want to go through the first 2? I'll take the last one.
Sure. So first got Ancestral Fury. During a turn in which a unit in a Royal Clan army makes a charge move of 3 inches or more, or made a follow-up move, it gains a +1 modifier to its strength characteristic.
Which used to be what dwarfs had, period.
Right. Well, So before it was, if you charge, you get +1 strength. If you get charged, you get the 6-up parry ward.
Right. Yep.
Riches and heirlooms. This is what I was talking about here. Character models in the army may spend an additional 25 points on runes. In addition, units that are able to purchase standard runes may spend an additional 25 points on standard runes, with the exception of the Royal Clan Warriors, who already have this bonus included in their profile.
Right. And then the last one is Striking a Grudge. And I think this army, Mike's probably sitting here going, like, I didn't hear the word Slayer at all. But, but there's a quote at the end. Maybe it'll pull you in to think about this. All right, but Striking a Grudge. After deployment, but before the first turn begins, nominate a single enemy character. For one reason or another, this individual has earned themselves a place in the clan's book of grudges and must be brought to justice. All friendly models gain hatred. Nominated enemy character. Special rule. In addition, you win a bonus of 75 victory points if you nominate a character is slain, has fled the battlefield, or is fleeing when the game ends. Now, obviously, you're not going to just put... You could put this on something if a unit you can kill, or you're going to be like, that big dragon over there.
Right.
Yeah. Because...
That two up dragon with regen.
Yep. And then the quote at the end here: "As Grimnir is my witness, I shall not take one step back. Should I fall, bury me beneath this unyielding stone. Final words of King Iron Handsome of Carrickvarn.
That sounds like a Slayer quote.
It does.
For
It does.
sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the striking a grudge because it's just like, well, it's the whole thing too. If you want to get into your opponent's head in any war game, oh, that's a cool looking army. Which one's your favorite unit? And then mercilessly attack it. That's like if I was playing, either one of you came up to me and I had my high elves, you're just like, hey Chuck, where's Teyrathi at? I'm like, oh, she's right here. Cool. That's in the grudge. I'd be like, you motherfuckers. It's in my head from the start, so that's why I like that. That's interplay between you and your opponent.
Again, I would be, just to get in your head as opposed to doing Teyrathi, I'd be like, boy, I really like them dragon princes.
Well, it has to be a character.
I know.
But anyway, yeah, no, I like it. It's fun. We will see what those new units do here in a second. But let's look at the other force first. The Dwarven Mountain holds Expeditionary Force. So, Mike, you flipping through books pretty heavily right there. You okay?
Oh, is it that loud?
Yeah, it's really loud.
Oh, my bad.
I'm like,
Jeez.
I know you don't have the Arcane Journal, so what are you looking at, man? Is it just like
No. It's literally like
your high school porn
I would
mags,
say
or?
2.5 feet away from me. That's crazy.
All right. Anyway, the Dwarf Mountain holds Expeditionary Force. Characters: 1 Engineer or Engineer Sapper. It's a new thing. 0 to 1 Daemon Slayer or Dragon Slayer. All right, Mike's in. And Thanes or Runesmiths. Core: Warriors, Thunderers, and Dwarf Carts, which can be the Miner or the Pony Cart. 0 to 1 Rangers per 1,000 points. So you can have 2 in my core now. 0 to 1 units of Scout Gyrocopters may be taken as core. Scout Gyrocopters are just, to spoil them, they're just slightly lesser Gyrocopters, but they're cheaper.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have to try 'em.
Yeah. And then special: Miners, Scout Gyrocopters, and Gyrocopters. 0 to 3 War Machines per 1,000 points. Bolt Thrower, Grudge Thrower, Cannon. And then your rares, your Gyro Bombers. 0 to 1 units of Slayers. And 0 to 2 on the War Machines for Organ Gun, Flame Cannon. And once again, my cheap butt this makes we're going to take a quick pause here in a second. And then your Mercenaries is the same as last time. You got Imperial Dwarf Mercenaries, 0 to 2 Doomseekers, and the Goblin Hewer. Matt, before we take a break here, do you want to?
And your engineer can be a BSB.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, my engineer can now be a BSB. So this is my army, and technically Mike's army too, because it's got Slayers in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know you only heard 0 to 1 units of Slayers, but after you take your Slayers and your 2 units of Doomseekers, you'll be satisfied.
Yeah.
It'll be
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, we'll look. Anyway, you'll be satisfied for sure. But Matt, once again, why don't you take the first 2 parts of the special rules for this army, and I'll take the last one.
Sure. I love the first one and the last one.
Okay,
So you get to cover the other one I love.
Gotcha.
All right, so Expeditionary Marksman. 0 to 1 units of Thunderers per 1,000 points may be upgraded to Expeditionary Marksman for 1 point per model. Expeditionary Marksmen do not suffer any negative 2-hit modifiers for moving and shooting, so it finally makes Thunderers
Great.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. In addition, any Dwarf Engineer may be upgraded to Expeditionary Marksman for 10 points.
Sure.
Yeah. Move to shoot. Thank you.
I'll take the function over form. That way you can talk about your last one that you love.
Sure.
All right. So when writing your muster list, you may reduce the toughness characteristic of the following war machines by 1 to a minimum of 1: cannon, organ guns, or flame cannons. Any war machine that has its toughness reduced in this way also loses the move or shoot special rules. So all of a sudden, those cannons and organ guns, and even maybe the flame cannons, they're moving around and firing.
Flame cannon might be usable at that point.
It might be usable at that point. That because you could.
If the card works on it.
Well, we'll get there when we get there.
Get there when we get there.
But you do subterranean
Right.
ambush before we take our small break.
And the last ability that I don't know how good it is, but I love the flavor of it.
That's fair. Yeah.
Subterranean ambush. If your army includes a unit of miners, you may, after both sides have deployed, but before the first turn of the game begins, deploy 2 32mm mine markers, plus 1 additional marker for each additional unit of miners your army includes. These markers can be deployed anywhere on the battlefield that is not within the enemy player's deployment zone, 12 inches of another friendly marker, 6 inches of an enemy unit, or 3 inches of a special feature or an objective marker. When a unit of miners would arrive onto the battlefield as reserves, it may be placed anywhere on the battlefield within 6 inches of a mine marker, but not within 6 inches of enemy units. The unit cannot charge during this turn, and it counts as moving for the purposes of shooting, but can otherwise act as normal.
Do you like graveyards from Age of Sigmar? Dwarves
Right.
have them now.
Oh, it's a little Age of Sigmar going on here.
Yeah. No, I like it. It works and it helps. It's additional thing to help with movement that dwarves need. So
yeah,
so it's good. But all right, we're gonna take another short break and we'll be right back to finish up by looking at these new units and characters real quick. So be right back, everybody. All right, and we are back once again. That way we can finish this out here. So, first up, Matt, I have to let you take them. I love them too. But Thorgrim, Luxon, Karl of the Damaskron. Tell us about him. You don't need to go set by set. Tell us what you like about him. What's he do? Is he going to be in your army? In which style army?
Going to be in... Well, I don't... Can you take him in the new one? Oh, yeah. Well, no, you can't. You could not bring a king in your expeditionary force.
Oh, true, yeah. It's gonna be,
I mean, again,
are you going to go royal then with him? It would make sense.
I mean, I mean, base 6 weapon skill, about 5, leadership 10, 3 attacks.
He's 250 points.
I mean, don't worry about that. All right. I mean, he's got, just like everything about him so cool. The only thing I wouldn't mind if magic resistance was a little higher. You know, -1 for the king. Come on, man.
Yeah, fair.
King, come on. But yeah, so let's see. You got Grudge Lore. Once Thorgrim has set the Grudge Stone, see below, which we'll get to in a minute. Both he and any unit he has joined replaces the Hatred Orcs and Goblins special rule with the Hatred All Enemies special rule.
He is suddenly worth all 250 points. Instantly.
Yeah, universal hatred. That's can't beat it. So the Grudgestone we were talking about.
In the old rules, one of the things that you would get at the start of a dwarf game was rolling a dice, and based on what you did, a 1 or 2, you 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. If you rolled the high, your army hated their army.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh cool, I just won this game.
Right.
Because it's so good.
So the Grudgestone. During any start of turn sub-phase, Thorgrim may set the Grudgestone. Once Thorgrim and any units he has joined gain the Unbreakable special rule and automatically passes any panic test they are required to make. However, once the Grudgestone has been set, Thorgrim and his unit cannot choose to flee as a charge reaction and cannot move other than to give ground to make a follow-up move or a reform. His armor, the armor of Skaldauer. The armor of Skaldauer is a suit of heavy armor. Which, come on, guys, I'm paying $250. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Why?
What are you doing? Give me full play. Come on now.
At least it's Grommel still.
But in addition, the wearer has a 4+ ward against killing blow and any against any wounds suffered that were caused by an attack that has multiple wound X special rule. So
that's not too bad, but
right.
like I'd rather,
yeah. And then he also has a Grudge Settler, which is his melee weapon, combat strength +2, AP 1, armor bane 1, magic attack. Notes: Grudge Settler is inscribed with the Master Rune of Smiting and the Rune of Parrying, as described on what we already went over.
Right.
So we have D6 more wounds.
Yep. Amazing.
On his 3 attacks.
Yep. Strength +2, AP -1, armor bane 1. Great.
Rank 6, AP 1. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it's he is incredible. the hatred alone, the universal hatred, just makes it so worthwhile, especially if you're going to do a combat-focused army. Man, just can you imagine, like, Mike, if you're just hate your Slayers just hate everything now?
That would be great.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Absolutely.
The one thing I was kind of bummed about is we didn't get a model for him.
Yeah.
But if you look at his picture, and I saw someone else do this online, so it's not my idea fully. If you buy the shield the king on shield bearer with the separate thane, there is bits in there that make it look exactly like this picture of him that's blurry. Wait, hey, Matt can get it. Yeah, so you can actually build him through the bits, which is kind of nice.
Yes.
Do it.
Oh, I am 100%.
Are you covering Mike's new husband, or am I?
I will cover Ungram here, and Mike will tell us what he loves about it. Interrupt along the way, Mike, please. I know Mike doesn't have the book, so that's why we're doing it this way.
You're not gonna get 2 seconds into it. He's gonna be creaming his jeans.
Oh, I know. All right, movement 3, weapon skill 9. Saw
What?
that? See, yeah.
Did you just say weapon skill 9?
Yep.
Yes.
Holy shit.
Ballistic skill 4, strength 4, toughness 6, wounds 3, initiative 5, attacks 4, leadership 10, 315 points.
Okay. All right.
But you're gonna weapon skill 9. All right.
Weapon
I
skill
know.
9.
That's.
Weapon skill 9 on this little guy right here. Weapon skill
Oh,
9.
you have him.
Of course I have him.
I love that he's initiative 5. So in the charge, you get initiative 8.
You're right. Complete beat stick.
Yep.
I mean, he's worth the points already.
Right.
Yep. Death blow, immune to psychology, King of the Slayer hold, magic, which you're gonna like that part the most. Magic resist -2, rallying cry, resolute, Slayer unbreakable. So what does King of the Slayer hold? Why is Mike gonna get more excited here? Ungram Ironfist may join a unit of hammerers or a unit of slayers, even though he does not have the loner special rule. A unit of hammerers joined by Ungram gains the immune to psychology and unbreakable rules for as long as he's part of that unit. In addition, if Ungram Ironfist is taken as the general of the Royal Clan Army, which, Mike, just to remind you about the Royal Clan Army, there's something very specific not mentioned in it at all. I forget, where's that page at? Royal Clan don't really have any Slayers in it.
No, they don't.
They have Doomseekers on mercenaries, which, whatever. So what does he do? Let's see. Daemon Slayers and Dragon Slayers may be taken as character choices now. 0 to 1 unit of Slayers may be taken per 1,000 points for core.
So I can bring Slayers.
You can bring two units of Slayers for 2,000 points.
Yes.
And there's Doomseekers, which are mercenaries, which is just BS, and you don't want to do that, right? You hate that. I hate mercenaries. I know you hate mercenaries too, right? Mm-hmm. But what if 0 to 4 of them per 1,000 points are now special because he's in your army? He's just abandoned the expeditionary force that I talked him up on. He's back in the Royal Clan.
Yeah. I'm out and in. I'm out and in.
Yeah, you're going Royal Clan for sure.
Absolutely. I gotta get this book.
He is a Slayer, so wound roll of 4+ always does the wounding usual. Slayer Crown. The wearer of the Slayer Crown improves the armor value by 2. In addition, the wearer is a 5-up ward against any wounds suffered. And of course, he has the.
What's his toughness again?
6.
Okay.
And he has the Axe of Dargo, so he'll be strength 6 with this weapon. So strength +2, -3 AP, magic attacks, monster slayer. So the usual.
I like it. I like it across the board.
You like it because of it opening up the army to do what you want.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It's great. Just Slayers.
He's worth the price.
Yeah, 350. 350. Yeah.
Yeah.
315. You can do an all Slayer army with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a couple big blocks, but you could do it.
I can do it.
So there you go.
I can make it work.
All right, now we have Burlock Damison, my engineer boy. Before he loses his arm and makes his mechanical one. Once again, I don't think there's a model for it, but I think they said they're going to make a model for him in the future.
Huh.
It's one of those, like, you got to read the articles and they tell you. But movement 3, weapon skill 5, ballistic skill 5, normal dwarf stuff after that. During deployment, you may entrench he's 85 points. I can entrench a single non-character model whose troop types is War Machine and a single unit of Coilers or Thunderers. So essentially,
I want to see like the Coilers are sitting there and he just pulls out a trench shovel and just like
start digging.
What are you doing? I'm entrenching you.
Deal with it.
Now, I would like to point out, it does say a War Machine and a single unit of Coilers.
Or Thunders, yes. So you're getting 2 for him. And you're getting on a unit, which is just great. That unit of Thunderers in the front with shields that I have, now entrenched. Range finding optics, unless he's fleeing or engaged, once per turn during shooting phase. Friendly unit of Coilers, Thunderers, or War Machine that is within command range can either reroll any hits of a natural 1 or reroll single artillery dice. In addition, Burlock and any unit his joined suffers the usual -1 hit modifier when shooting at long range. Does not suffer. So, yeah, that cannon's not getting that because that cannon has that freaking rune on it. This is going on the Thunders and Coilers to reroll all those 1s and not worry about long range. Because holy crap.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And of course, Standback Chief, so he's got Lookout Sir within War Machines, 3 inches. And then he has his Furnace Hammer, Strength Artillery die. So, Strength Misfire to Strength 10. And if he misfires, he loses a wound, no attacks. -2 AP, flaming attacks, and then he has a Rivet Gun, because he's the first KO, I guess. 10-inch range, Strength 3, -2, Armor Bane 1. It causes D3 hits to target unit. So
I want to know what founding member of Games Workshop was injured with a rivet gun.
Actually, so it wasn't. One of the sculptors, the Perry twins, that did a lot of the sculpts that we know and love from like the classic time period. They're reenactors. Okay, and they reenacted Napoleonics, and like they love historical war games. They still do. They actually, that's what they do now. Like you go Perry Miniatures, they do it. But they're twins, but you can tell them apart because one of them, when he was reloading a cannon during a reenactment, the person who had their thumb on the end of the hole to keep it from going off, because that's how it worked, didn't do it right, and he had his right arm blown off. I think it was his right arm.
Yeah, but that's not a rivet.
It's a big rivet.
Look, all I know is in Warhammer, whether it's fantasy or Age of Sigmar, rivets are the most deadly thing dwarves have access to.
Well, maybe, okay. Well, listen, if you had your arm blown off, you could call it cannon rivet. I'll let you get away with it. But yeah, I like him for 85 points. I'll lean into the engineering. Kit bash one up or just call one because he's cool. I like him. All right, then there's the Dwarf Engineer Sappers. I'll talk about them, and then Matt, let you explain to Mike what Doomseekers do. So Sappers are 70 points, weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 5, basic engineers. They have Dig In. During any command subphase, if they're not engaged in combat, this character may attempt to lead their unit in digging up some fieldworks by making a leadership test, using their leadership. If passed, this character and any unit they have joined become entrenched. Entrenched units considered... So he can be like... He's not like the other one who would just, like you said, run around and dig in for you. He's like, guys, pull out your shovels, help me out here. All right, we're all digging in right now. And then hostile terrain. Any enemy model that ends its movement within command range of one or more characters with this special rule that are not fleeing or engaged combat must make a dangerous terrain test. I'm sorry, why is this the best thing I've ever seen in my life? You want to charge my gun line that's not moving? Congratulations. All of a sudden, once you get close enough, dangerous terrain, dangerous terrain, dangerous terrain. Oh, dangerous terrain. 70 points all day. All day. Taking a couple of these if I can.
I'd like to point out that they did do a small FAQ for Dig In.
Oh, did they? Okay.
Yeah, if you were engaging in a round after lunch and you didn't finish lunch, you're allowed to finish it.
Okay, all right.
I got him.
You got me. All right, well, why don't you explain to Mike what Doomseekers do so Mike can interrupt you and tell you how happy he is that they exist.
So Doomseekers are like Slayers, except for they are wildly expensive.
Yeah, 50 points.
50 points, but that gets you weapon skill 5, strength 5, tough 4, 2 wounds, 3 initiative, attacks. You'd think there'd be a number, right? No. It's 2d3.
No shit.
Hold on, did you tell him the ballistic skill?
Oh yeah, your ballistic skill is a goose egg.
It's
So don't pick
zero.
up a
It
gun.
actually says 0. They forgot entirely how to throw anything.
Each individual Doomseeker can take up to 50 points in runes.
What?
So,
How many can you take in a unit?
well, so your unit size starts at 1, and your imagination is the limit.
Oh my god. Okay. I like that. Holy shit.
So they have whirling blades of death that count as hand weapons, or as a hand weapon. Sorry.
Mhm.
They have the death blow, Doomseeker, which is a them rule. First to the fray is them. They do have Grommel weapons, so they're re-rolling ones to hit. Or no, I'm sorry, that's the AP1.
AP1, yep.
Immune to psychology. They have impact hits of D3+1. Magic resistance 2. Random attacks, as you saw. They're unbreakable. Vanguard, so you just
Move up.
Right.
Move up right away.
And Whirlwind of Death. So let's go over some of these things here. So, Doomseeker. At the end of combat, a Doomseeker that has been slain
At the end of battle.
is worth,
At the end of battle. This is
Alright.
when you're doing
in
victory
battle,
points.
they're worth no victory points. Nothing.
If it's been slain.
Wait.
If it's been slain.
They want
Oh wow.
they want to die. And you
That's-
However, if a
okay.
Doomseeker is still alive, the enemy player wins bonus number of victory points equal to 100% of its power cost. Or point
I
cost.
love. This is my new favorite unit.
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
awesome.
honestly, like, just taking, like, 4 little kitted out guys to just run
Right.
and hold shit up. Like,
just forward. Just run.
That's badass. I like that.
First to the fray. This model increases its maximum possible charge range by 3, and when it makes a charge, when it makes a charge roll, may apply a plus D3 modifier to the results. And then
What the
whirlwind of right?
The fuck?
Not bad, man.
I might have to bring like a little 4-man. I'm going in so many different directions right now.
Mm-hmm.
on what
Whirlwind
I'd
of
wanna
Death.
do with those guys.
Impact hits caused by this model are resolved using the profile of its whirling blades of death. In addition, when this model makes a roll to wound of a 4+, it always is always a success, regardless of the unit's toughness. And these can be taken as mercenaries in Dwarven Mountain and Empire Man.
Yep. Good stuff.
Imagine rolling 5s and 6s
I mean, yeah. It's the dream right there.
for your attacks with 4 of these guys. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
Yep.
That's amazing. Amazing. Yep, I'll be taking those guys. I think I'm gonna buy the book just because of that unit.
Oh, you should.
Oh, listen, the book is so worth it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy
this
the book
is
regardless.
such a good book.
Yeah, I want
all right.
more.
Royal,
Let's move along here. So we have our Royal Clan Warriors.
yes, and I like them. So we got
I like them too.
weapon skill 4, blessing skill 3, but toughness 4, niche 2, normal attacks. Give them Grommel great axes. You can give them upgrade 1 to champion, which you would do. Standard bearer musician can have up to 75 points on the standard, which is pretty nice.
Yeah.
And Royal Clan veteran, the champion can have weapon rooms 25, talismanic rooms up to 25. 0 to 1 unit per 1,000 points that in your army with this. You can get drilled, stubborn, or veteran for 1 point each per model.
Oh,
So good. Close order, Grommel armor, Grommel weapons, hatred, orcs and goblins, magic resist, resolute, shield wall. But the Grommel great axe, combat, strength +2, so we're going to be strength 5, AP 3, requires 2 hands, strike last. So, it's cool. And what's even more cool, this is my favorite part about all these books so far, is things like this. How do you represent this new unit in your game? They're best represented by arming hammerer models with a mix of hand weapons and shields, or with 2-handed axes rather than the customary great hammers. So, hey, you're an adult, kit bash your stuff very easily, and have fun.
yeah.
That's awesome.
It's awesome.
Shut up and
I
move
like
on.
that.
It's like the same feeling whenever they were doing that with old sculpts like my witch elves for Daughters of Cain. Oh, you can give them a shield, or you can give them double weapon. I'm like, I can. This is amazing. I have options. Why not? Why not use the kits to the fullest? So I just love that sort of stuff. And yeah, Royal Clan Warriors, because their core right in the Royal
One
Clan
unit.
one unit is. So yeah, I like them.
Yep. Not too worried about Imperial Dwarf Mercenaries.
I'm not either. Yeah, let's just move past those. That's fine.
Scout Gyrocopters. The big difference for them is you are stuck with the clatter gun. That's range 24, strength 4, AP 1, armor bane 1, dwarf crested, move and shoot, multiple shots, D6, quick shot. 60 points still.
Yep, fly 10, so you just +1 movement. I think you lose a toughness, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you do, because this is tough 4.
Yeah, it's just like a lighter version.
And it's heavy armor instead of full armor.
Yeah, and 60 points instead of what? 70, 90, whatever. I forget what
I think those are 60 points too.
Oh, they are? Okay. Okay, so a little bit quicker, but hey. They're neat. I haven't tried them yet. Although I have the new gyrocopters, the plastic ones, and I have one old one, which doesn't have armor, so he's going to be my scout gyrocopter whenever I try it.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to try them too. And then, of course, the new staple to every army.
Oh, dwarf carts. We're going. Hold on. I got this, Matt. Don't you worry. 65 points. It's a light chariot. Let's see. You can be Bugman's cart for free or Miner's cart for free. I have 2 miner carts, and the Bugman's cart is actually metal.
Oh.
It's in here. It's metal. I was surprised. I thought it'd be plastic.
I thought it was just the same kit.
No, because they're actually the miner cart. I think it's just the push to fit of the Skull Pass one, and the Bugman's cart was its own thing. It's like window dressing, but Bugman's cart. During the command sub phase of their turn, any dwarf unit that is not fleeing or engaged in combat within 6 inches of a friendly Bugman's cart that is itself not fleeing or engaged gains +1 modifier to movement characteristic until the end of the turn. Okay. Great. My movement is a little bit more normal now. I like it. I will put that in every single list.
Now, if I remember the rule book, modifiers come last, right?
Correct.
So, like if I'm in a marching column, I move 7.
Yeah, it does come last. Yes. So yeah, it won't change. It doesn't change characteristic. It's just +1 at the end of your characteristic being adjusted. But yeah, it gets you movement, and that's such a huge thing for dwarves. Like, yeah, they're chasing a beer, which is kind of funny. Matt, do you want to do the miner's card?
Sure. I don't necessarily know too much why you would take it, but hey, it's an option. I'm not going to complain.
I like it.
Any dwarf unit that is within 3 inches of a friendly miner's cart that is not fleeing or engaged in combat may make a stand or shoot charge reaction and or shooting attack as if it were equipped with blasting charges. Additionally, when a miner's cart loses its last wound to an enemy attack during combat phase, roll a d6. On a roll of 4+, the miner's cart explodes, and every unit, friend or foe, within 3 inches suffers d6 strength 3 hits, each with AP 1 with flaming attacks.
So, here's how I think you might use it. This is not a very dwarfen thing to do. This is a very dark elf thing to do, but this is what I see it. You get a couple of these things. Let's say 2. And you just run as fast as you can to the enemy. And you just blow up. That's it. You kamikaze him. That's it. It's not very dwarfy. I'm not saying you're not going to put yourself in your own book of grudges, but could do something.
I think the main reason you would take them is basically to reinforce your unit of warriors whenever they get charged.
Yeah, and like I said, it gives you some extra like range and stuff. So it's not. I don't hate them. I like them. I'm glad I have a couple now.
Yeah,
because it's
cool. I wish that it had a special rule of like it gives these units this attack, like it has blasting charge, but it also gives. But if it's like a unit of miners gets like the torpedo shot.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
That would be amazing. That's true.
If it joins a unit of miners, there you go, boom.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, it'd be fun if you could come up with minors too, just naturally, just attached to it. Yeah. Also, the other thing too, I'm not sure if you've seen the Goblin Hero rules. Have you, Matt?
No, I didn't.
Oh, they're on the page 46. 36-inch range, strength 4, AP 1, armor bane 1, cumbersome, move or shoot, whirling doom. You might kill goblins with this thing. You're not killing much else. Like
whenever you,
yeah,
for that 120 points, that gives you 120 points to use elsewhere. Is that what that is?
I would assume. Reason number 2, maybe not to buy this thing, because Malachi is enough for me. But yeah, I to be fair,
I thought this was a melee unit.
No, it throws axes. It's throwing them. Yeah, it's throwing them. Now, here's the thing: if you're playing a Slayer style army, this is the official Slayer war machine. Mike, if you took this, I would understand. But I think you could also maybe take 2 more Doomseekers and be better off.
Yes, I would rather do that.
Yeah. There is some more runic tattoos for Slayers here. Well,
That's still giving me so many different ideas. Those Doomseekers are still like they're like stuck in my maul right now.
Well, we have runic tattoos, so Doomseekers can have up to 3, Demon Slayers can have up to 2, Dragon Slayers can have a single. And there's a lot here. Matt, why don't you pick one? I'll pick one, and we'll let Mike wonder what the other ones are.
Let's see.
There's quite a few, and they're all for Slayers.
Here, I'll go with a nice basic one.
Okay.
Rune of Wrath, 15 points, plus 1 attack characteristic.
Okay. With the Doomseekers?
Yeah, so that, again, you could put 3 of those on a Doomseeker, so he gets...
He could have 9 attacks. Potentially.
You could be at...
Or even more than that.
You would basically be, if you took 3, you'd be 2d3 plus 3.
Yeah.
Right, that's what I mean. So it could potentially be 9.
If you cap, you get the 9.
Right.
That'll never happen.
It'll never happen.
That's 15 points each, right?
Yes.
Well, I'll go with a bigger one, a 40-point one. This isn't even the most expensive one, Mike. So, Rune of Endless Battle. During the combat phase of any turn in which a model with this runic tattoo charged, every attack it makes causes an unsaved wound, allows it to immediately make 1 additional attack. So you roll the dice, they fail a couple, attack some more, they fail a couple, attacks. Just never goes. Note that any additional attack that causes unsaved wounds and any unsaved wounds caused by impact hits do not benefit from this. So you're getting on the first wave. Okay. It's not continuous till the end. It's not fully endless. It's mostly endless.
I'm just thinking of so many possibilities, and if I bring some Doomseekers, then I can go find like custom Slayer models out there.
You could,
yeah.
or just
but like
just use, honestly with the Doomseekers,
I'll get Fire Slayers.
I would just
Hearthguard
go get
Berserkers.
Hearthguard, and give them the chains.
Oh, I literally have boxes.
Right
next to me. I have 3 Hearthguard Berserkers still in box.
Oh, there you go.
And
don't ask me why I have that many, but I do.
Whenever you do Leatherbeard, you can give him the Rune of Blazing Fury for 5 points, where this model's runic tattoos has the Flaming Attack special ability.
Oh man, I don't know. My mind's going so many different directions.
We'll have to send you a picture of this page just so you can
Okay.
Have your.
No, I'm planning on buying it. I know my local gaming store.
Okay.
Has. I mean, at least I'm hoping. Let me look.
All right. Well, while Mike looked this up, me and Matt will go through a couple engineer weapon runes.
Yep.
Matt, do you want to do another one? Do you want to do a basic one again?
I gotta say, when it comes to these, I was a little less impressed with them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like I said, I think there's a lot of solid choices.
And by the way, these go on crossbows or handguns.
Right.
Just so everyone's aware. So it's not cannons or anything. This is just basic weapons.
Right. These are engineer only. They're not buffs, so it's a little counterintuitive for what engineers are.
Right.
But again, you got to go with the Rune of Molten Steel for 10 points, where your shots become flaming attacks. That's just...
I don't think you do, man. I don't think you have to do that one.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, after you pair it, of course, with the Rune of Rapid Fire for 15 points, where a weapon inscribed with this rune gains the multiple shots 2 and quick shot special ability. Now you're getting 2 flaming attacks out of that.
That's fair. That's fair. I would rather take the Master Rune of Bursting Flame. If the roll to hit is successful, a weapon inscribed with this rune causes 2d3 hits on the target rather than 1. But
those could be flaming.
They could be flaming. No, it's a Master Rune, so no, couldn't.
Wait, the
Master Rune takes it all. They're jealous.
Unless you could only do the Master Rune once.
I don't think you can mix anything else with the Master Rune.
I think you're right.
Let's look it up while we're here real quick.
No, I think you're right. You're right.
Thank you. All right. Anyway, so there we go. There is the Dwarfen Mount Holds Arcane Journal and Army Review. The council has spoken. Dwarves are cool. They're all cool. Everybody play dwarves. I don't care. Like I'm an elf player, but I play dwarves because they're cool.
And
they have my book, by the way.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
Yes.
If you've made it this far through the video, you are going in the Book of Grudges.
But if you were in the Book of Grudges and you survived this long, like and subscribe and comment that you did so, and you're removed from it. Yeah. So that's how you're in the Book of Grudges until you like and subscribe. But let us know in the comments, maybe what style dwarf you want. Do you want to be the more traditionalist? Do you want to be the slayer? Or do you want to be the engineer? And I will probably not tally it because I'll forget about it, but you can pretend as if I'm counting it, and I love you all dearly. Because I'll forget because it's late. But anyway, Mike, Matt, thank you for coming on. Matt, do you have any final words on the Dwarven Mountain Holds?
Yeah. I just love them so much. Like just reading it, just like I want to get it on the table, and then I know the second I put them on the table, I go, son of a bitch.
But not goddamn it. You know, it's not KO or Fire Slayers level. It's just like damn.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I think with the Iron Drake build, I think your opponent can still have some fun as long as they understand the game they're playing, and it's like, if I get through the Iron Drakes, I win.
Right.
And as long as everyone's on the same page and they understand what's going on, I think it's a good game.
There you go. Mike, what's your final word on the Dwarfen Mountain Holds? Obviously, you're starting that dwarf army, and I'm wondering if you're going to finish your Bretonnians.
I was literally I swear to God, I was just thinking that it's going to be very hard to finish off these Bretonnians because I really want to start working on that army.
You can start building while you paint. You know what I mean?
I can't do that. I can't. I'm like, if I just can't. I'll sidetrack and there's too much explaining to go into any kind of details.
That's fine.
If I start building them, I will not finish my Bretonnian army because I'll just go right into painting those things.
Okay.
So,
right,
but in the meantime, I'm going to buy the book. My local gaming store does have it, so I am picking that book up, and I will read it in my off time. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing if maybe I could possibly make an efficient Slayer list, which there's probably not a possibility of that happening, but you know.
But you can play your army.
Give it my best.
You have the option to play your army, which is cool.
I mean, think how awesome that would be just to be able to field that army, right? So, I mean, that's all.
You'd be the only one taking it, so everyone would be like, "What? What does he know that we don't?"
Exactly. Or this guy just a dumbass. He's probably just a dumbass. Okay.
Or no, you go in and you just crush your first game out of nowhere, and they're just like, "What's going on?"
But with that being said, you know, I will start off with the Slayers, but I am gonna build a proper Dwarven army because I love dwarves.
The whole thing.
So, yeah.
No.
But yeah. That's my final thought.
For your Slayers, are you going to go official GW? You're going to go...
what do you mean? Like, I'm going to Avatars of War.
Okay.
I'm going to... Because I just don't like the old sculpts. I'm not a fan of the old sculpts.
I like the old sculpts, but I get you. If there are some of the... You need to have the nostalgia brain on them, or they don't look good.
Right.
Even back in the day when I liked... the more traditional, you know, like the Iron Drakes and the Hammers and the King. Like, I like those models. Yeah. There's just something about those. the only real model that I like that's a Slayer model is the old Gotrek and Felix from the Games Day years ago when they came out the actual packs, like the not packaging, but they're like
clamshell or
sealable packs.
Yeah.
So it came with Ulrika, Max, Snorri,
Yeah, Gotrek and Felix. Yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was the curve.
Yeah, and they're in red packages. That was like that's my favorite Slayer of all of them as far as sculpts are concerned from the old world, right? It's just I don't know, something about I'm probably gonna piss some people off. They just look derpy to me. Not a fan.
There was like honestly the last release, they kind of like everything prior to. I kind of consider those more like the gnome dwarves.
Yeah.
That's what right.
Like,
okay, that would make
super
sense.
small, and then it's like as soon as they got that last glow up with the Iron Drakes, and well, again, I guess you have the transition of the warriors because the warriors they're popped up. They're not as squished.
Yeah.
But they're not as refined as the Iron Drakes.
Yeah.
Iron Breakers and Hammers.
Right.
All the heroes. Oh, well, so cool looking.
We look forward to it. Yes. We'll let Matt run that Tale of Four Warlords whenever you're doing the dwarfs. He can worry about trying to organize people from Ohio to jump on a call at the same time.
Oh, jeez.
I'll just get ChatGPT to do it for him.
There you go.
Oh no, they'll
perfect.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, the my high level is dwarves are cool. I like all the variations you can do in this. I think this Arcane Journal unlocked it in such a fun way, and gave a few items that were really needed to help dwarves be boosted to be, not because like some people are like, oh, they're too slow, they're unplayable. I'm like, okay, well now you have the movement shenanigans. They're not unplayable, so it's just a different play style. So I like them, and it's like the army I'm probably playing outside of my high elves right now until my Bretonnians are finished. So I'm looking forward to exploring this a little bit more and eventually getting these other dwarves I have sitting over here done and on the table. But that's for another day. But
cool.
Anyway, Matt, Mike, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it, Matt. Next time, grow that beard out a little bit more for the dwarf show.
This is 8 weeks. What are you talking about?
All right, everybody. Until next time, as always, stay Stormcast strong and happy hobbying.